Happy Thursday, Delaware Valley and beyond. Today is truly, even though I love the heat, so I'll say it's a nice day and I'll get nice day, it's going up to 98. Nope, today is truly a beautiful day as the rain came through last night. The humidity went away for a little bit, so we're good to go, at least for today. So we'll see what's going on. Amy, how are you?
Best day of the week.
Amy Fadul's here on the best day of the week, Thursday. That is correct. How was your night?
It was
all
great.
Good?
All good.
Watched the Phillies game at a local establishment with your husband?
Two local establishments with some friends first, and then met up with, then we had a solo kind of like jaunt across.
Aw, cute.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lovely. Sat at the bar.
Did you watch the whole game?
Whole game.
Nice. You can do that now because so I guess you had the kids with you.
No.
Or no, they were home. Okay. But still,
you can.
You get home.
Yeah.
You get home and it's only 9:30.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the starts. Even though it was a 7 o'clock start.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It got done early enough despite being a 7 o'clock start? Very interesting.
How you doing today, Ray?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you all right?
Good to be here.
Tonight's got you all out of whack because it's a 6 o'clock start tonight.
Might as well not even eat dinner.
I don't know what's going You better run out of here right after we're done and make sure you get where you have to go for that 6 o'clock.
We got to change our signs.
Oh, yeah. We're not Kincade Salciunas.
No, I just looked behind Ray and I saw it. I was
Dylan,
like, wait
we
a minute.
need you.
You got to change these signs.
Yeah, Dylan's got to change the signs.
It was great.
Here.
Everybody was locked in at the bar. We're sitting at the bar of the restaurant, and that last out was. So as soon as I saw Alvarado come in, I was like, "Oh, Hoffman must be coming in to close."
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, "He had Alvarado. Yeah, okay."
He's struggling a little.
Yeah,
bit.
He's a little bit. He looked hot. He looked sweaty. But Hoffman, man, wow.
Yeah. So that was a fun game. It was funny. We were talking about earlier. Phillies win the night before 10-1 in a yawner, and I said I had somewhere to run, so I loved it that they got up 9-0, so I could get in the car and not miss seeing anything of the game and all that. And the guys were like, "What do you rather have, a 10-1 win or a 4-3 nail biting, win?" I said, I like them both. Yeah. That's why, like John brought it up this morning, accurately so. I always want to take something out of any game. And you can really take something out of both of those types of games. So appreciate both of them. And the Phillies, win another series. They are just remarkable, especially at home. And we're going to get all into it today, but we can't until we read this.
Now, the front page. The stories everyone's talking about. 97.5, The Fanatic.
That's right. You're fighting, Phils. I put down that they grinded out a 4-3 win last night over the Dodgers. After the news comes out, it's funny, I'm listening to the best show ever, and they're like, we still have no lineup yet. Well, they were waiting because Bryce Harper bruised his left hand, in the game the night before, so they were waiting for him, I guess, to take some BP and see how it felt. He gets scratched. You get some... so that's the key for Rob Thompson.
Now I get to really mess with the lineup.
I can do that, and I can do this. And that's what he did. But they grind out a 4-3 win over the Dodgers. As far as Harper goes, it looks like it's a day-to-day thing. They waited till the last minute to say they could scratch him, but
I think he was trying to swing, see how it felt. Yeah,
so, it's an odd time. You only have 4 games left until the All-Star break. He is an All-Star. He's going to go out there. If it's a day-to-day thing, we'll see. Maybe he didn't have the proper padding to put on there. Maybe that's something that they worked on all last night today, and maybe he'll be ready to go today. Kyle Schwarber, he leads off the game with a home run. Well, he leads off the Phillies first inning, with a home run to left, 1-0 lead. 8th time this season he's had a game-beginning home run. Love it. I think I read it was I forgot to write this down, 28th time he's done it in his career or something like that.
It was. They showed the list. It was 26th.
Is that what it was, 26?
It was like Mookie Betts was second, and I don't think it was particularly close.
Yeah, so that's...
Called it, though.
You know what?
You asked me what I wanted to see.
You did? That's right.
Called it.
Atta girl.
Kyle Schwarber. I was so excited. Very first. Like, boom, first at bat.
It's so cool, too, because when you hear Schwarber's out, and you're like... Or Harper's out, rather, and you're like, oh, man. And then Schwarber comes up, and it's boom. You're like, man, this team just doesn't allow you to be uncomfortable all that often.
Such a good
game. That was great to see. I want to talk about this a little bit later. I want to talk to you guys, and I'm going to put it out there to the listening audience if they may have one. I think last night was there was a season-defining moment. I think last night was one of the biggest outs of this season so far. And I think when this season is over, however it ends, it's going to end well. And I'm talking regular season. It's going to end well, whether it's one of 4 teams in Phillies history to have 100 or more wins or whatever. I'm positive they're going to win the division when the regular season is over. I think if we look back at it and we say, hell, remember some of the top plays? Yeah, we'll go home runs. We'll go that. Matt Strom's strikeout last night of Shohei Ohtani is going to be up there.
Massive.
And I'm going to talk about that later. So if you're listening, I want you to put that in your mind about really good seasons. I would like to say championship seasons, but they're very limited here in Philadelphia. Really good seasons that teams had, and what was like a season-defining play. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But I thought that was awesome last night. So way to go, Matt Strom. But I even thought, as big of a thing, you do that. You get Ohtani, he strikes out, his hat goes flying, and he swings at a pitch way out of the strike zone because you had him exactly where you wanted him. Matt Strom had another batter to face. And how many times do you see, all right, big moment came.
Then the letdown.
Oh, the letdown. Still had 2 runners on base with a 2-run lead, and he gets a fly out to right. So kudos to all-star Matt Strom. That was just a big, big moment. Christopher Sanchez, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. Okay, perfect. Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Way to go, Christopher Sanchez. Listen to this, though, Aim. 66 innings at home this year. 66 innings is a good amount. He's got a 1.5 ERA at home.
It's ridiculous.
The home field advantage that this team has.
What are they up to now? 35 and
nuts.
14?
Well, let's see, Amy, because I did 35 and 14. Absolutely correct.
That's incredible.
35 and 14. It's just amazing. Trey Turner, all he does is go 2 for 4 last night with a run, an RBI, 345 he's hitting. He's just been absolutely spectacular. Bryson Stott, he gets you a couple of hits, 2 for 4 with an RBI. He's at 244. It was just a couple weeks ago. He was down in like the 232 area. So climbing a little bit, just looks a little bit better at the plate. Gavin Stone for the Dodgers, one of their better pitchers. Now, they are drilled by injuries in their starting pitching, and that's a shame. He's one of their better healthy pitchers, right? Went into the game at 9-2. The Phillies beat him up a little bit. 4 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs.
They hit him around quite a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. In the last, every starter last night had a hit except for Garrett Stubbs. That's okay, 9-hole hitter, but everybody else in the lineup had a hit. Listen to this. In the last 6 wins by the Phillies, they're averaging 11.5 hits.
Wow.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 69 hits in their last 6 wins, which is telling you, as good as the pitching has been at this time of the year, where maybe there's some arms that get tired, and I think we're kind of seeing it.
A little bit.
For them to be able to get hits and runs, great. That's why this team is so good. There's rarely that both things are down, pitching and even when they lose. Like, what was it the other day to the Braves, 2-0 or something? Like, it was 6-0.
Yeah.
But they're rarely not in games.
Well, that's the thing. I think they've only had a handful of shutouts.
Yeah, 3. I think I wrote it down.
3 or 4.
3 or 4, right around there.
It's not a lot.
No, it's not a lot at all. Tonight at 6 o'clock. I don't.
6 o'clock.
Should we give Ray the slide today then? Maybe he should leave today around 1.
Just in case.
Yeah, we'll talk it out. But they play 6 o'clock tonight. Aaron Nola is on the mound against right-hander Landon Knack. Right-hander. I know you had an injury there, Rob, last night, but if Bryce is okay, go back to that lineup that you had on Tuesday, because that was really fun. And then just plug that in again. That'll be good. I know you don't like to do that, but let's give it a try. Knack, he's only 1-2 with a 2.86 ERA this year, rookie. His last start, he's only had, I think, 7 starts this season.
Yeah, limited.
Yeah, but his last start, 4 1/3 innings, 4 earned runs, 3 home runs in a 9-3 loss to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So hopefully they jump all over him tonight. Tomorrow, Oakland comes to town. It's a 6:40 start. Sorry, Ray. 6:40 start against Oakland tomorrow. Ranger Suarez on the mound. Saturday, this is really, is this okay? 4:05 start
on
Saturday?
a Saturday, yes.
Okay, shoo.
You
I
never
feel
really
better
know.
now. Saturday, 4:05. Tyler Phillips, Bishop Eustace grad, is going to get his major league debut as a starter. So that'll be fun. I was really impressed with him the other day.
Yeah.
It was an eye testing. It wasn't the 7 strikeouts in 4 innings. It was just like he looked like he belonged. He did. He looked like he belonged. And to me, that's That's kind of cool. So we'll see how he goes. That'll be Saturday. Sunday, 1:30 start against Oakland. To be determined. Zach Wheeler, maybe. A little back tightness still going on. It's been 2 starts now. He said he did it when he landed hard. Not this past start, but the previous start at Citizens Bank Park. So tweaked it again. Again, you're going into this all-star break. You have a couple extra days. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it. If he can't go, then I guess you would go with a Mercado or something like that, and you can throw everybody out there.
Some kind of opener,
Yeah, exactly.
Situation.
So, your Philadelphia Eagles camp is quickly approaching as they report on July 23rd. Hit the field right after that. There's some Eagles talk that was interesting. I thought it wasn't even Eagles talk. It was more of somebody looking throughout the league at something. The morning show hit on it a little bit. I'll throw it to you. I don't know if you heard the guys talking about it this morning or if you've seen it, but it was a look at the skill positions and rankings of skill positions. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't know the morning show was going to run with it, but we'll dip into that a little bit later too, just to see what everybody thinks. The Sixers. What more to do and how? That's the question. What more to do and how? Because I saw a tweet yesterday saying, "Ooh, Sixers, 3 first-rounders for Lauri Markkanen." And I was like, wow. I mean, that puts...
No.
Yeah, you're shaking your head no. I don't know the affordability of it. I don't know if people would like it, not like it. You get another star player in here. It sounds cool. It probably moves, Oubre and Caleb Martin to the bench and, all these myriad of things. But instead of being specific, generally, Amy and I are going to get into this a little bit later. Like, what do you do? Are they all, like, kind of little moves that fill spots? Is there another bigger move to be had? I don't know. It's interesting, and we'll see what Daryl Morey maybe have in mind. There was a USA game last night that we'll talk about a little bit. There was a Sixers Utah City, Salt Lake City game last night. I don't know if I need to talk about that all that much. Some things happen. But we'll get into that. On the national front, there's nothing going on. So we're all good to go. Front page is all done. So that's where we stand. That's where we sit. Might have a fun game for you later on, depending on if we can get this together. Amy, I felt bad. I said to Amy, oh, come on, let's work on this. And she liked it. And then I said, yeah, all right, if we do all this, we can do it tomorrow. And then she goes, yeah, but I'm not with you tomorrow. Oh. So I was like, womp, womp. Yeah, it didn't work.
Not on the schedule.
But if we're smart enough and we feel like working hard enough,
yeah, we can do it.
We maybe be able to get something better. So last night, yesterday afternoon, I should say, where was I yesterday? Ray and I, we went out and met an old friend, and we're looking at our phones and we get the lineup that comes out. Harper's out, and it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me! Is this going to be bad? What's going on? No, it looks like it's not. So then you say, now they got to shift the lineup, and that's only the little teeny meeny thing that bothers me. But I could just see Rob Thompson wringing his hands. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'll go Bomey at first.
Yeah.
I'll go
what do we do?
Third.
Whit Merrifield.
Pache, maybe. Are you hurt? Oh, a little bit. Okay, I'm going to change that up too.
Yeah.
Let me throw Marsh in center field. And
I know. I looked up and I was like, I forgot. Why is he in center? Because Whit Merrifield's out there.
So he did all that, and, you go back to, as I described it, as like a breath of fresh air when you saw Schwarber back in the lineup and Harper back in the lineup the other night. And then Harper's out of it, and you're like, oh, geez, here we go again. But this team is just so damn resilient, I think. And it's just, oh, Harp's out? Okay, no problem.
Right.
How you going with this one, Topper, if I'm a player? How you going with this one? All right, here we go. And Schwarber leads off with the home run.
Exactly.
And it just made me laugh out loud, Aim. Like I swear.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
That's exactly what I said.
I looked up and I was like,
did I text you that last night?
No, but that's the first thing I thought of.
I
just looked
swear
at
those were the
like,
words that came out of my mouth. I laughed and I said, yeah, of course he did. And that's just the way this team is. That's the fun of this team. But more importantly, that's the goodness of this team. Mm-hmm. Like, they are really... I'm not going to overpraise it or anything, but
they're a good team, a really, really good team.
And we talked about small things when it came to summer league and watching the guys there and saying, you can't equate it to the NBA game. You're looking for small things. Do they set their feet right? Do they do this, that, the other? This is also a small thing. It's not that oh my God, they're the best team in baseball. It's wow, they got Harper out of the lineup. Things get juggled and switched, And of course he does. Of course Schwarber leads the game. Like, it was almost like, guys, calm down.
Yeah.
It's cool.
We're going to start off this game 1-0. That's
Yeah.
what we're going to do.
Yeah, and it's just so much fun to watch and all the different things that they do. And I think, in my mind, the bullpen starting pitching, I think everybody's getting a little tired. I think we're seeing just a little bit of a fall. And look, I remember when it was coming to the All-Star break in the NBA, you would see a change, for good or for bad. Sometimes you would see a sub, like, running up and down the floor. I'll never forget, I took a guy aside, and I'm like, my God, where did you get this energy? He goes, we have off in a couple of days. I am pumped. Some guys elevate their play because it's like, all right, let me go all out
with a bang.
Right, exactly. Other guys, it's just getting to the end of the so-called first half of the season.
Yeah, let me just get there. Let me just get to the end.
Yeah, right?
And they can see it, too. They can see, like, we have a game. I just want this to be here and done.
Yeah. So do you ever worry about All-Star games? Because we've gone through it with Joel Embiid. Injury. Should he play? Should he not play? I can't believe he's going out there. Why is he playing in the skills competition when he was young? All of those things. I remember asking Brett Brown about it at the time. Like, Embiid's had some injuries and stuff. Are you okay with him going out there? Love it. Want him to go out there. I want him to be in a locker room with LeBron James and Steph Curry and all those guys. I want him to see what it's like to be a winner. That's what Brett Brown would say. How do you look at All-Star games as far as those things go? Like, Harper has the hand now. Wheeler's got the back. Some other guys.
Ranger.
Yeah, Ranger. Like, do you want him going when he's not? Does it not matter at all to you, or do you kind of look at it as an individual case with each one?
Probably individual case type of vibe. I mean, the Joel Embiid is a different case in the fact that he has shown to get injured a little bit more easily at times, so there's always a concern there. But part of me, if you got injured in the game before, am I mad that he played in the game before the All-Star game? No, because that's his job. So who am I to say that you can't enjoy this moment, especially for the guys that are first-time All-Stars, which are going to be the pitch like Max Strom and Ranger Suarez and Jeff Hoffman. Like, I think that would be taking away. They've earned this. It's a big deal. They don't play full on, so that when I don't worry about injuries as much in an All-Star game because these guys aren't going to play. They're not. You've seen them. It's all kind of like halfway. The All-Star game in baseball used to mean something. You got, what was it, home field advantage,
right,
in the World Series. That's gone.
Right. So it's the shift.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for updates for anybody scoring at home. But yeah, so I'm fine with it. Like, I think it's a good thing.
Baseball.
I think it's fun for these guys. And such a long season for everybody. 82 games in the case of hockey and basketball, and then 162. Like, yeah, get a little joy.
Yeah, like, baseball is the one All-Star game where I don't think you can slow it down all that much. Why? Because a pitcher's not going to throw 60.
Right.
And, that's still going to – and if it's a ground ball, are guys maybe diving? No. But, I think baseball's the one where it's more of their normal game than any of the other ones.
And the guys will pitch anyway.
Right. And so what are you worried about? A guy gets hit by a pitch? Well, that's probably not going to happen. Guys aren't looking. Pitchers are looking to throw it right out over the plate. They're not looking to, paint corners and stuff like that all that much. Basketball, it's weird, only because that's the sport that I played in. Is that I worry about the slow down type of game.
Yeah.
Because then, because mentally, when you're playing the game at a speed that you're accustomed, you subconsciously know where a guy is going to be. If you go up for a layup, where you're going to land. Mm-hmm. If you're going for a rebound, how your feet are coming down. It's not that you're thinking about it, you just know it. Well, if a guy isn't playing at 100%, all of a sudden he's in a wrong place, and you don't expect that. Or, oh, my God, he didn't go for my fake because he didn't care. Now all of a sudden I'm stepping on his foot. So basketball I do kind of worry about. That's why All-Star games kind of worry me. But, yeah, baseball doesn't that much to me for some reason.
And it's one of those things that me.
I don't know. It's one of us. I just texted you.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? What are you doing?
Good to see you.
Yeah.
No, I feel like baseball, the pitchers are going to pitch anyway. Like, if you're not scheduled to start, you'd be throwing on, you know what I mean? Like, it's just you keep in the rhythm. I think for them especially, it's such a rhythm sport.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be into playing it. Like you said, everybody's still trying to hit the ball out of the park. They're still trying to find their spots. but they're not trying to brush back the guy from the plate.
No,
They're not no pickoff moves.
No,
like,
and you're not going to go crashing into a wall trying to make a catch or anything like that. But with a Bryce Harper now, he's got a bruised left hand that he suffered early.
An All-Star game in a Phillies uniform.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy.
You said Nishak played more All-Star games, right?
Yeah, Nishak's appeared in more All-Star games. Yeah, an All-Star until last week. He was an All-Star as many times as Bryce Harper.
This is incredible. Bryce Harper, I think, made it 1 year here, but it was
22.
He was injured, so he couldn't
I think
go.
it was when he was hurt in 22.
Yeah.
So, Ray, like Amy often talks about the note that you hand to the manager. Hi, my name is Zach Wheeler.
Do not use
my
me.
back has been hurting lately. My coach says that you should not use me. Thank you. Love, Zach Wheeler's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you look at it? Do you think it's not a problem? Because, look, the manager knows. The manager's not going to – I'm sure Rob Thompson's calling and saying, hey, man, if you could get Bryce out of there after one at bat because he's got this bad hand, and if this, I know. But do you worry about them playing it all? Suarez?
I don't worry, and honestly, they could give 1,000 notes to Bryce Harper. He'll find the nearest shredder, and they're not going to matter.
Such a good point.
Like, unless it's something that's seriously going to bother him for, like, an extended period of time, that man is going to show up to the place where all of the best baseball players are, and he is going to try and make, like, you mentioned playing like a half speed, not diving, no. Bryce is going to show you, hey, I'm an all-star first baseman now. I'm going to dive and try and make this play. I think that's just who he is. And I think that's part of why I think the sport of baseball loves, having his energy out there, because they think that, he's going to give you full throttle all the time. So I've kind of reserved myself to the fact of, like, no matter what I would, like, be cautious. Like a year ago, I said this earlier this week when we were talking about him coming back. A year ago when they were like, he's going to come back in record time. I was like, I don't know about that one. He's going to play first base. I don't know about that one. I'm done saying I don't know about that one with Bryce Harper. Like, he's just going to come back. He's going to do his thing. I'm not worried about it because I've seen him defy odds in terms of injury before, and I know that I can't change him as a player. Again, if you had given me money on Tuesday night on who to bet would have taken the extra base coming off of injury, I would have put all of my money on Harper and not Schwarber. I was shocked that the conversation the day after they came back from injury was Schwarber trying to take the extra base and not Harper.
That's so true.
That was weird. That was so weird.
And you could tell his teammates were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like...
know your role. 2, you just came back from injury.
There's adrenaline when you're back, I guess, and
you're
then,
so excited.
And he gets he's got that little running style that he has, which is pretty cool. But just a lot going on with it. But the we're looking like at the All-Star game and all that. We can't forget, Phillies just took 2 from the Dodgers, and this was deemed. I was excited. I told you guys I was so excited for this series going into it. Just because it was that time of the year, just because you're getting towards the so-called midway point of the All-Star break, I like a big series at this point. There's something else about this season, about this point of the season that I want to talk to you guys about. But the first thing I want to put out there to you, 610-632-0975. I think that Matt Strum strikeout last night on Shohei Ohtani may have been a season-defining moment, may have been one of these things that we go back and refer to a lot in what surely is going to be a special season. Give me yours. And it can be during the season. It doesn't, obviously we can't see during a championship season because we haven't had a lot of championships here. But give me a defining moment in sports that you remember from one of your Philadelphia teams that you say, yeah, remember that play in this season? That kind of defined that season. And as I say that, maybe it's a blooper. Maybe it's something bad that happened that you say, my God, that team went, played 400 ball that season because this play defined that season. Think of a defining moment that you saw in sports and if it related to a season. 610-632-0975. You can text us. You can call us. Love to hear from you. If you're on the line right now, just hold on. Take a quick break. We'll be back. Get back at you right away. Amy Fadul's here with us all day today. I'm Bob Cooney. This is Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. Back, everybody. So glad you're with us. Thanks for joining us on this, what is really a beautiful Thursday. Low humidity, nice sunshine. I always look for good luck in the morning, Aim, in different ways. Yeah, so oftentimes it'll be our parking lot on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Because Monday and Friday, nobody's really ever, in not just these offices. Now, we share a building. I'm not talking about specifically. Yeah. We share a building with many companies. Mondays and Fridays, parking spots are, plentiful. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
little dicey.
It's a little dicey.
Thursdays, I feel like, are getting a little bit better because I think more people are going down the shore.
Yeah, exactly. So coming into the lot right in front of our entrance, sometimes I might get like the last spot.
Right.
And that's happened. I'm like, oh, good luck today. Or if it's really crowded and I find one, oh, it's going to be a good day, lucky day. Today, the lucky thing was I come over the bridge. Everything's fine. I'm like, wow, the bridge, it's not that bad. I get over. I go on the Vine Street Expressway, and then there's a sign saying crash, expressway closed. And it's like, and look, maybe my fault. I don't look at Waze every morning. I don't turn on KYW every day to hear I don't. But boom, and it's like gridlock, shoot. What am I going to do here?
Hold up. You don't check your route before you go, like on Waze or Google Maps?
No, because I do know the city well enough that if I run into something, I know I can maneuver around. Well, I've worked all over the city. That's fine. You could do it too. Well, no,
I like to know.
Yes, you could.
I know I can. I just like to know.
Do you really look every day?
I mean, I take the same route every single day.
So do I.
And I always look.
Oh, I don't. Do you do that, Ray?
There's a certain point where I'm sitting at a light where it becomes like a dividing point where I either go one way or go another. But yeah, I check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will look to see how much time it takes when I get closer.
Go ahead.
That's okay. So I get in there
it's
and
not
it's
weird
like
not to check something.
Yeah, it's like boom, right there, and I'm like, yeah. So then I turn on. It's right at the twos. I turned on KYW, switched from our morning show for a second, and Vine Street Expressway closed. Jackknife tractor trailer.
That's a bad one.
But it looks like there's some movement, is how they put it. Now, we've all been in traffic enough where we can see, all right, it looks like it's clearing up ahead, all that stuff. Perfect time. I couldn't have been any more perfect timing.
That's a good thing.
They cleared it. I got there. It was maybe touch and go for 5 minutes, and it was boom. And you know how once they clear an action, it opens wide up.
No one on the road.
So I was like, there's my good luck for the day.
Yeah.
So that's what
good.
I got for today. Yeah, I always... As I've said on these airwaves many times, I don't get out of bed. I don't let my feet hit the ground until I get a good thought in my mind. And then when I get in the car, I look for some good luck, and I kind of found it. But one of the things I brought up, not good luck, because I don't think Matt Strom's strikeout of Shohei Ohtani was luck last night at all. I thought it was a defining moment of this season. So one of the questions we're putting out there now, and you can answer it at 610-632-0975. Do you remember a shining moment during a season? And it could have been a great moment during a great season that maybe didn't end all that well. Or maybe it was a horrible moment during a horrible part of the season. But just a season-defining moment, I guess, is the best way that I could put it. I think when this regular season is over and you look back on what I think is going to be a 100-win season for the Phillies, that strikeout last night, 2 men on base, 4-2 lead, Matt Strom, Shohei Ohtani, strikeout. I think that's going to be remembered for this season. So if you have one, let us know, 610-632-0975. Also, a little bit later, Amy and I are putting together a fun game that we're going to put to you when you call and give us your sports take. It involves numbers and it involves letters.
Yeah.
And it's going to also involve a little
acronyms.
Acronyms.
Yeah.
A little thinking on your part. I'll give you a little hint. I think the first one I ever heard was 88 K-O-P, like 88 keys on a piano.
Oh.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones I ever heard of this. So it's of that ilk, but it's all going to be sports related. We're going to break it down into different categories for you. So we'll have some fun with that later. Right now, we're going to get to Keith in Bucks County. Keith, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Couple things. Number one, All-Star games. Professional athletes lived for two things: playing an All-Star game and win a championship. To play in an All-Star
I'd put money
game,
up there too, Keith.
Well, okay.
I'm
we
just
all
teasing.
we all do it for money. We all do our jobs for money, sure. But I guess my point is this: it's your opportunity to go against the best of the best, and against people that probably you haven't seen all season. And in the old days, you wouldn't see it all because of the leagues were separated.
Right.
So it was an opportunity to do just that and say, hey, listen, I am one of the best in the league, and you put your best up against our best, and we'll beat you. And that's what they play for. Now, to play an inning or two in an all-star game is basically all they do in Major League Baseball. And that, to me, is not a problem. You had mentioned that you were more concerned with an NBA or the NBA All-Star Game and the NHL All-Star Game, the two All-Star Games, I fear absolutely the least. They play no defense. It's an opportunity to show off your skills that you have that nobody else in the world has. And so I don't worry about getting injured in those games. Baseball is different, and that's why the Baseball All-Star Game has such an appeal. It's the same rules. It's the same mental
type of play also, right?
You don't play halfway in a Major League All-Star game.
No, you can't.
You play like you normally do because the guy on the other side is playing like he normally does.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying to you, baseball's All-Star Game has that appeal because it is so competitive and because of the fact it's the best against the best.
Yeah, good point. Real good points, Keith. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Baseball has been, except for one instance, been my favorite All-Star game of the four major league sports. The one instance is I was in L.A. I've told this story before. I was in L.A. one year for the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah.
And the first 3 quarters and a half were, here we go, layup, dunk, 3-pointer, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, Kobe Bryant and LeBron James caught eyes. I swear to God, I will never forget this. And they were covering each other. And LeBron and or Kobe, I don't know which one, went around the other one and scored.
And it was
and
like,
it came
it's
down
on.
the other way, and it was on.
It's on.
It was on. And, I mean, I was like, this is awesome. And they went at each other. That was really cool to see. Other than that, but baseball, I think it is. It has always been my favorite All-Star game.
It's the most, I think, like the actual
Genuine.
game. Yeah.
Like, right?
It's a genuine product.
Yeah, so.
No offense to, I mean, the Pro Bowl was like flag football, but
Do they even
maybe
have a Pro
worse.
Bowl anymore?
They'd still do it.
I thought they played like flag football and skills competition.
Yeah, because they realize, I think hockey's done a decent job of trying to vary the different things, trying to get a little bit more interest.
Yeah.
I think they've done a nice job with that. Pro Bowl is just grasping at straws. Like, it's just, no one plays in it. It's just kind of like I don't know if I want to call
It's
it a
also
showcase.
done like when teams are still playing.
Yeah, so like all the good players that made it aren't there.
The best of the best aren't there.
So they're like,
because
oh,
still
he
playing.
made the Pro Bowl. I'm like, yeah, he was the third alternate because, the other two are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's just nuts. So we're talking about one shining moment also, because I think last night we saw one with Matt Strom with the strikeout on Shohei Ohtani, and Mike in New York has one. Mike, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
How you doing? The defining moment, I think, was Reese with the bat slam. I felt like his frustration was all of Philly, and after he hit that home run and slammed the bat, every Philly fan felt like him.
I'll tell you what. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, Mike, about do celebrations bother you? And, somebody said that's something they can do without in sports, the celebrations. That one, if I was on the other team, I don't even know if that would have bothered me because it was just so natural.
Man, if you get frustrated at a celebration, these guys work their whole life. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's gloating, but there's people that work their whole life to get to these moments, and if they celebrate, they celebrate. That's what when I coached Little League football. I tell my kids, don't gloat, but if you score, celebrate. You work every day at practice. There's no bad thing about celebrating. You work hard. Why not celebrate?
You know what, Mike? You put it exactly the way I would want to put it, too. Celebrate with your teammates. Do not show up the opponent. I think that's what your message was, right, Mike? We're so on board.
Sir.
Great call, Mike. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that Hoskins bat slam. I mean,
that was that. Still, when I see it, and you guys know me with sports, the emotions and all that. I'm kind of flatliner. That raises the hair on my arms.
How does it not? I mean, the
Like,
whole
that
place.
was-
I was there, and we just went. It was ready to erupt. The excitement was there. The game building. It's the Braves. All the other good stuff. And a guy who had been, a little bit struggling at times. So I was like, that you just saw that was just everything he had felt, every moment of any frustration, just right there. Just boom.
Talk about of course he did, moment.
Yeah,
right?
oh my God, it was just
because
like-
his defense was god
We
awful.
went,
Yeah. And then he comes up and he does that, and it was just
crushed the ball.
absolutely phenomenal. All right, so we're talking about defining moments. Those of you on the line, hold on a second. We'll get to you as soon as we get back. Defining moments, and Amy and I will open the game at 11 o'clock. We're going to open the game, and people who get it will have a chance to win a pair of FanFest tickets. That's how we're going to do it today. 610-632-0975. That's how you join us. We can talk to you. You can text us, whatever we want to do. This is Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey, just a reminder, 10 o'clock hours brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Amy, there's a sport I think that sometimes we don't pay enough attention to, and we certainly do not bring it up enough on this show. And I would like to rectify that a little bit right now. Ray is playing for a softball championship tonight.
He is?
He is. It'll be down at the Philadelphia Navy Yard.
Tonight?
Ray,
What time?
Do you have a name for your team, Ray?
Yeah, we're the Clown Ballers.
Okay.
It's a very serious
Yes,
softball
clearly.
league, as you can tell. Now,
Wait, do you come up with that? Was that like a group thing?
Yeah, so it was a thing that happened during the pandemic when we couldn't see people. We ended up going outside, and the numbers that they had for one day did not match up the numbers you needed for a softball game. So they invented another game, and they called it Clown Ball. And,
Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
So that's
the origination.
The group that played Clown Ball then became the softball team. Then
And the championship. Who are you facing in the championship?
So the semifinals is right before the championship.
Oh, so you don't. Well,
So we don't know. So we'll be down there early to scout.
but you already guaranteed
You're already
it.
in there.
Yeah,
You're
oh,
already
okay.
in.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're
That's
going
what
to
I
go
needed to
scout.
know.
Yeah. We got to get
People
down there.
hitting.
For,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And underhand.
well, I mean, if they pull the ball, then I know how to position myself.
Yep.
Yeah, as an outfielder.
Likes me. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What time is your championship game? It'll what, 20 minutes after the conclusion of the
6:30.
semifinal game?
I doubt it'll be 20 minutes. I doubt they'll give you
Because
that much
time
time.
is important to you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking.
Well, yeah, they need the fields to be used. So, yeah, 6:30 is the first pitch.
Okay. All right. Now, do you have uniforms? Like, what is it?
You
is
just
it-
get a T-shirt.
Yeah. What number are you?
You just get a T-shirt. It's not.
oh, no,
there's
not
no
number, just
numbers.
a T-shirt.
No.
Oh, okay.
We didn't
Is
go.
it, it's
hats,
Sport and
nothing.
Social? Who does it?
Heyday.
Heyday, okay.
Yeah. So they just give you the shirt. We wear the shirt. And we're not going out and spend for jerseys. Yeah.
And you play left field?
Left center.
Left
this evening.
center. Okay,
Yeah.
4 outfielders.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Well, I mean, you could do 3 outfielders and a rover, or you could do 4 outfielders.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Rules of the game.
All right. And it's co-ed.
Yes.
And so tonight at 6:30, it'll be
Now batting first, playing left center field, Ray Dunn.
you don't hit first?
Nope. Not tonight.
Not a
What?
leadoff. Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't.
Whoa.
Who's making these lineups?
Listen, manager made the decision. I bat where the manager says I bat.
Where are you batting then?
Batting 7 today.
7?
What?
You went from first to 7?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We got to talk to
What's the name of
somebody.
your manager?
Let's get him on. Call in.
Nope. It's okay. We're not gonna cause any
manager of the
problems.
Clown Ballers. What the
Yeah.
hell is Ray going
Yeah.
from 1 to
1
7
1
for?
to 7?
And we're not putting you down. We want to
Were you-
know.
were you
It's
scuffling?
obvious his performance has not been up
I
to
was
snuff
not there for the
lately.
semifinals. This could be
Oh,
a
it's a
punishment for being on vacation.
Oh,
It's
Chicago.
a punishment. Yeah.
Not Chicago. It's the
Oh,
vacation.
The other one.
Yeah.
The vacation before. I
It
did
is
not
the
mean to.
summer of Ray
I
Dunn.
did not mean to set that up that way.
You
Yeah.
did a good job of it,
Sorry,
though.
I did not
appreciate
mean
you
to.
doing that.
So I said to Ray
so
today, I was
sorry.
like, he said, yo, I gotta book my hotel for the wedding. And I'm like, I didn't roll my eyes. I didn't say anything. In my head, I might have gone, I said, when is this, Ray? He goes, oh, it's Labor Day. I said, oh, so it's the perfect closeout to the summer. And he
Yeah.
says, well, hardly. It's in Kansas City. And I said, no, that's a great way of closing out the summer. Like, summer's
Yeah.
done once you go there.
You closed out a lot.
You closed out
Kansas
a lot.
City.
Yeah.
Okay.
My friend lives out there. I'm very excited for his wedding.
Yes, very good. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, friend. And if you are the manager of the Clown Ballers,
Please call.
We'd seriously love to hear from you. 610-632-0975. In the meantime, Nick in Lambertville. He's on 97.5 The
Lambertville.
Fanatic. What's up, Nick?
Hey, yeah, just as a disclaimer, I'm an old timer, so forgive me if it's a little dated, but 73-74 season.
Oh, that's not outdated at all, Nick.
Yes, it is. Bobby Clark, Game 2 overtime goal.
Boston Bruins.
Boston Bruins, I can still see it. And everyone knew that the spectrum that year with that home ice advantage, you just didn't win if you were the opposing team. So the idea was to win one in Boston, bring it back to the spectrum, close it out, which we did in Game 6. But that Bobby Clark goal, that was so critical because we got the win in Boston, and at that point, that's all we needed. I said to myself, that's it, we're going to win.
Clark jumping up and down. I think
still
there's a
see it.
is there a statue down there of Clark jumping up after
Yeah.
scoring that goal? Yeah.
I think there is, but
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
Schultz to Flett. Flett sends it to Clark. He backhands it. It hits Gilbert in the mask as he's diving across.
Gilles Gilbert.
He gets his own rebound with the forehand, and he knocks it off. I think Carol Vadnais bangs it into the net, jumps up and down, And it was like me, my mom, and my brother. My dad was overseas in the military. And I just remember it's a school night, and we're jumping up and down like crazy.
Of all those names you just mentioned, I guarantee our audience knows Bobby Clark and maybe no one else, like
it.
Bill Flett and all that. But that's a great one, Nick. Thanks so much for the call. Much appreciated. I do remember that. I was like 6. I was my friend had a Little League baseball game. This is so weird. This is just randomly. My friend Chucky had a Little League baseball game over at Lafferty Field. Went to that, rode my bike home. I remember getting so excited to sit down in front of the TV, and my dad says, when he was not mad at me, but he called me Sport. Sport, what are you doing? Says, going to watch the Flyers game. He goes, not until you get the trash out. And I remember being so mad, running out back and like dragging those trash cans. Like I missed like the first minute and a half of the game.
But that ruined it.
It did. I didn't talk to my dad for a long time after that. All right, here's the game we got going on now. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. And those who get the winning answers, we're going to put your names down, and we'll put them into a hat. And then at the end of the show, at 1:45, we're going to draw a name from a hat, and you are going to win 2 tickets to FanFest on September 28th. Just can't wait for that. Here's how the game's going to go. We will ask you what category you want. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey. We will give you a number, and then we will give you letters. And you have to come up with what we're talking about. I will give you an example right now, and I'm going to pose this question to my partner, Amy Fadul. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
21 NWBJE. 21 NWBJE.
21, number worn by Joel Embiid.
Ding, 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 ding. Absolutely. That's how the game is played. Now, you're going to have to use your mind on this. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Not all of them are going to be that easy. And you're going to have to think nationally. Mm-hmm. We're not going to make it crazy. Like, if I give you a big number, you're going to have to think, ooh, this might be a record-setting number or something like that. So we'll put that out there to you. Also, with the game-defining moment of a season that maybe you remember. Because I really do think that Matt Strom last night had a season-defining moment. When he struck out Shohei Ohtani, I think when this season is over and we really look back hard, we're going to say, oh, my God, remember that strikeout of Shohei Ohtani by Matt Strom? That might be a season-defining moment. So we got a good game going on. Want to hear what you have to say about I'm very much wondering about what the Sixers are going to do moving forward. This isn't done yet. And I saw a proposed huge move yesterday, which I don't even know can be done with where they are financially right now. But we'll talk Sixers. Phillies, of course, best team in baseball, best record in baseball, all that. Anything you want to talk about, we have some more thoughts on it. 610-632-0975. Amy Fadul with us today. This is Bob Cooney, Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. 11 o'clock hour. Thanks for joining us here. Middays, 97.5, The Fanatic. Amy Fadul with us today, my partner in crime.
That's right.
Ray Dunn producing.
7-hole hitter.
Yeah, batting 7th tonight in the softball championship. We have had communication.
The manager's going to stick with it, I think. Is what
The manager is going to stick with it. He has heard our complaints. He cannot call in. Work-related reasons, we shall say. But he is steadfast in that Ray will not move up to the 1 spot.
You know how you
it
make
is
him
not
pay.
punishment.
But
it is strictly, I was told on a text.
Yes.
It is strictly due to performance.
Wow.
I'm just saying, that's what I got.
I mean, that's an insane thing to say after the game I had the last time I was there. I
You're
mean,
talking
that's a guy
yourself
that's
out of the lineup right now. I would be happy with the 7.
Now he's gone down to 9.
the computers are making the lineups around here, if you ask me.
Robo managers.
Wow. So
All
your
about
manager is
analytics.
listening. This is how ballsy Ray is. His manager's listening. Championship game tonight. The guy
He's
says,
still
I'm
bad.
hitting you 7th, dude. Take it or leave it. And Ray's pretty much leaving it. He's like, I don't know. Move me up in the order. I asked, I asked him in the text, could you come on? He says, nah, work, it kind of doesn't permit me to come on. I said, all right, no problem there. What is the deal? Is it a punishment due to Ray
Yes.
being in Aruba
And he said
while
no.
you guys were sweating it out in 105-degree weather and eking out that 19-3 win? And he said, no, strictly performance. 3 words. That's all it was.
Strictly
no,
performance.
strictly performance. So I was hoping to get down there tonight. I really was. My wife has a hair appointment, so I have to stay home with our son. So, I'm not going to be able to make it out there tonight, Ray.
What time is the game?
6:30.
First pitch. Phillies start at 6 tonight. Yeah,
6,
so
yeah.
you could beat the traffic.
Well, I'll be down there.
No, it'll be
I'm
right
doing
on
Bird's Huddle. We're taping at 6:15. Maybe I'll swing over.
I could
Is
use
that the
some,
Navy Yard?
It's at the Navy Yard.
I mean, you can't get close to the
I
Wells
mean,
Fargo
no.
Center than that.
I
No.
could use some video of our man because
All right.
if it shows that he indeed should be a leadoff hitter,
How
I am
fast
going
are
to
these
get.
games?
About an hour.
Oh, so, yeah, I've got time. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that they weren't like 30 minutes and that'd be done. All right, perfect. I'll have to bring
Wow.
like a change of clothes, otherwise I'd be rolling in my anchor gear. I'd stick out like
Hey,
a
who's
sore
the
thumb.
chick in high heels over there watching this softball game?
Dressed with heels on.
Yeah,
with
right.
Full
He's
face
got
of
a
makeup.
sideline reporter now.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Bring a mic and interview Ray. Are you disappointed about being in the
I'll
7
grab
hole?
a camera too.
Yeah.
I would never, during a game, start to voice my displeasure about that. It's all about keeping the team together at moments like that.
I got to tell you, he bitched to me on the side about like a couple weeks ago about where he was in the batting order.
But he was batting first at the time.
No,
he
I was batting
started
7 or
at
8. Yeah.
And I said, well, maybe you got to pick it up a little bit. And maybe he took my advice. But apparently, as the text said,
Went right back.
strictly performance. So I don't know where you are, Ray, but I got to go with the manager.
6:30.
If he's been good enough and there every game to lead his team to the championship.
Now, let's not give the manager perfect attendance on this one. There's a running joke that when the manager doesn't show, I have better games, and that's why I've been placed in the lineup where I have.
Where does the manager hit?
3 or 4. I think it's 4 today.
Batting cleanup.
He hits right behind his son. who hits third.
Yeah, it's a real LeBron James situation going on with this softball team.
So I think there's a little something going on with the Phillies right now. It's not bad. It's not like, season changing or anything like that. It's like watching him. You have young kids, young boys. It's like watching them play all day, and you're like, man, look at him go, look at him go, look at him go. And then it comes 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and it's like the wind down comes. And you're like, all right, dude, whether you know it or not, you're tired. You got to wrap it up, all that. Little injuries start creeping in with the Phillies right now. You had the big injuries. You had the
Trey Turner,
exactly, JT, Harper. You also had Marsh was out for a little while also. Those were kind of bigger injuries that come during a season. Sometimes you hope they don't, but they do. You recover from them, you move on. Then you get like little things, like maybe a hammy that wasn't as bad as you thought, or now you got a bruised hand, or maybe a pitcher got hit on a hand a few weeks ago, and maybe that's showing up more than you knew, but it's not like really being talked about. I don't know. I'm looking at the bullpen. And, Alvarado wasn't all that great last night. And then you had, some of the guys. Now, there's no way that Strom could pitch the way he was pitching earlier. You're not going to get everybody out all the time. And he hit a little bit of he's given up a couple of hits, which is no big deal. But I just think, we're seeing some little things. Kirkering last night wasn't great, gave up a couple of hits, all that.
They limited it, though.
Yes, they did.
Good, yeah.
And you Strom a big part of it.
Yeah.
What, is this just the normal time of that we do this every year come All-Star break of, man, can't wait for it to come? Although it's weird I'm saying that when they've just beaten another great team in the National League 2 games. But do you feel, because I do, I feel like with a lot of things with this Phillies, things happen just right. I think this All-Star game is coming at the All-Star break at the perfect time for this team.
Yeah, it's interesting because if this was winding down of the regular season, I don't think you would hear about some of these things, right? I think you're hearing about them, or they're taking all these precautions. Like, let's take, Wheeler out of the game right now because of the way it feels, because it's the All-Star break coming up, because we have this extra time. If it was September, you probably never would have heard about it.
Right.
Because, listen, it's time for the playoffs. Everybody's ramping up. Everybody's going to be banged up. So I think that it's the perfect timing of it, especially for when you're looking at the way it's going to be once the All-Star break comes out of it. All these little nitpicky type of things. Guys getting a little bit worn down in the bullpen. They hadn't been used for the first couple of months of the season. April, they were used a bit. May, hardly used. June, a little bit. And then July, a little bit more. So I think that it was just the natural kind of ebb and flow of this. I think the timing of the All-Star break is perfect for a lot of teams, but the Phillies being certainly one of them, given the fact they've had just little teeny things like, oh, yeah, you got hit by a pitch. Oh, your back started to tighten up a little bit. Again, I don't think that if this was in September, that would never even have been a blip.
Right.
Never even heard about it.
You can't find your slider.
Yeah.
Like Tom McCarthy said,
Yeah.
he talked to Rangers sliders. He's like, I don't know. I can't find my slider.
Yep.
So maybe. But, Ray, do you feel that every year come around All-Star break that whether your team's good, and we've been lucky. Phillies have been really good at this time of the year for the last 3 years. Do you feel it? Is it a real thing, or is it more so this year just because it seems like it's happening maybe, or am I looking into it too much?
I mean, I think we're just kind of looking at a team that's got a lot of players around 30 that are feeling the bruises of playing every day for 4 months. I think that's ultimately... That's where I kind of take what we've seen in terms of the injuries. And some of the guys slowing down right now, yeah, I think the pitchers are a little bit tired. I imagine that, they're leaving balls over the plate when you haven't seen them do it as much. I'd look at the Alvarado, I look at Ranger Suarez, I look at just a number of these guys right now where, hey, yeah, you could use a couple of days to just do nothing or whatever your equivalent of nothing is. Because we say do nothing for a professional athlete, and their version of doing nothing is a lot different than my version of doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a nice luxury for them to have in a couple of days. And it'll be nice that, well, knock on wood here, but it's nice that the series going into the break is the A's. I like that that's the 3 games that's going to take them into this break.
I do too. And you've already taken at least 2 or 3 against the Dodgers. You've already won this series. Now don't mess around. I do. I look for the little things. Oh, what difference does it make? You're going to have probably, and the Braves lost last night, so the Phillies leads back up to 8.5. You look at oh, come on, they're going to have a big lead going into this. No, make it bigger. I want them to sweep the A's. A's had a win last night. I think they're in Boston.
They are in Boston.
Yeah. So they got a win last night.
Get that lead up to 10. Back up to 10.
Yeah, right? Why not go into this great All-Star break after a great first half of the season? I don't know, on a 6-7 game winning streak. That would be, or 6-game winning streak. That would be a lot of fun.
It'd be
I think
good.
I'd like to see that. Yeah. So a lot of things have fallen into place with this Phillies team this season, even though some of the pieces have been a little bit cracked, talking injury. Mm-hmm. That's the sign of a good team. Sometimes a good team, great team, needs some breaks, needs some good things to happen for them. I think this is one of them. I think the All-Star break is coming at a perfect time for them.
Yeah, I feel like the thing is, this team every time, and like Ray said it about Bryce Harper, as soon as you think something's not going to happen, Bryce Harper got hurt. Okay. I feel like everybody says, and? So I feel like there's always a good time for them. It's always going to be their time just because the way everything is. And I'm not going to, not going to put everything out there like this is a team of destiny type of thing, but they have that feel to it.
They do.
Everything just seems to, even when there's stuff that's gone wrong, it somehow turns out to go either right or at least okay. Like JT Realmuto, that was a huge loss at the time. And you're just thinking, oh, and we didn't even think about the backup catcher. Here's a guy that's going to be out 6 weeks. He's so important to the pitching staff. And I think you've seen some of the reasons why. Some of the guys have struggled at times. And I think you probably realize that he does a lot back there. They're still over 500 without JT Realmuto.
Mm-hmm.
They were over 500 without Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
It's just
without Trey Turner.
Yeah. And who's the fifth starter? Who cares at this point?
Like last night.
It's incredible.
Yeah, last night.
It doesn't matter.
Harper, a few hours before the game. Now, that sounds like a long time, but in baseball, it's really not, because you usually put the lineup out early. They wait a little bit. All of a sudden, boom, Harper's not able to play. Not that I'm the only one, but how about the defense that Edmundo Sosa played at third base last night?
Yeah.
You look at it, and it's like...
Talk about, you're like, oh, of course.
He made 3 plays that were like, whoa, that's a really good play.
When he zips that ball over, there is no doubt it's getting to... And it's not going to be a stretch.
No.
It's going right there.
And it's movement of feet, going to his left, going into the hole, having to come across his body to throw the ball. And then who's he throwing it to? Oh, a guy that rarely plays first base, but... Do you notice much of a difference when Alec Boehm's at first base?
Plays a nice
and I don't mean from Bryce Harper, because Bryce Harper plays it really good. Yeah, he looks like a normal first baseman.
Looks like a good first baseman.
And then, when you have these type of injuries, because you've gone through them and because your backups have gotten so much play, well, now your comfort level is that much higher.
You have all these different guys that you can do different things with. And I know we, bust on Whitfield, as we like to call him, and what he does. Yes, you do. You love to do
that anymore.
Yes, you do, and you give us a wink.
I don't do that anymore.
But it's like, all right, these are the concerns. And I go back to what Larry Boa told us when we were out at Dawkins Golf Event. These are things that we worry about, the backup catcher role and the fifth starter and the 26th, the bat on, because we want perfection and we're excited about it and we want to believe in our team and we don't want there to be any doubt. We don't want any questions at anywhere. Like everybody else is like, they're dealing with, look at the Dodgers. They're dealing with real injuries, to their starting pitching, obviously to Mookie Betts. You look at the Yankees, their starting pitching has been decimated as well. And we're over here being like, is Tyler going to be the guy? Oh, is Zach Wheeler going to? But I love it. These are good problems to have because they're not really problems. And that's why I think, when you talk about timing, is it a good time? Everything's a good time for the Phillies right now.
It really is. And I'm going to go out on a limb. And it's just from an eye test as somebody that doesn't really know much of anything. I'm going to say Tyler Phillips is going to be a starter pretty much for the rest of the year for this Phillies team. Because as we heard Matt Gelb tell us yesterday, he thinks they're going to go with 6 starters all through August. Because I guess there's not much rest there at all. So Matt Gelb did say that to us yesterday. He thinks there's going to be... Which is
interesting because I know Wheeler does not like that. But I'm wondering if it's because...
I thought the same thing too, but...
It must be timing out, so it's not going to be that much different.
Exactly. I think Tyler Phillips is going to be a prominent starter for maybe the rest of the season, at least for the next couple of months. I don't know what it is. And I could be totally wrong. But I'm watching him the other day, and it wasn't just the strikeouts, and it was the fact that he's throwing like a backup curveball to Olsen that hits the zone and gets a strikeout on him looking. Like, that's confidence to me. Yeah, that's cool. The way he handled himself, the maturity that he looked like on the mound. Am I overstating it for a guy that pitched 4 innings? Absolutely, I am.
Yeah, but that's where we're at. Why not?
But that's how I look at things. And like I said, maybe I'm wrong and his stuff won't be as good and whatever. It was funny. I got a text message from our friend Mike, who makes us sandwiches every once in a while.
That's nice.
You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, his son faced this kid Phillips in high school and said the guy was just unbelievable. Now, of course he was. If he played in high school and, now he's in the pros, he probably was incredible. But he brought up some, little things. He hit the ball really well. You never knew where it was coming out. When it was coming out, he threw from over the top so well and so hard. I'm kind of anxious for this Tyler Phillips, and I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on here.
I feel like Bishop Eustace has produced a lot of pitchers.
Zach Gallen is on the Arizona
Devin
Diamondbacks.
Smeltzer.
Yeah, that's right. Back in the day, Blaine Neal, a name you don't know, but he played for the Florida Marlins. His son plays basketball at my old high school.
And that's 4 guys that you just named that play.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
From one high school? That's incredible.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. And
all the same position, too.
Yeah, and
That's right, because
not
you're
a fan of the
yeah,
high
because you're a
school.
Camden Catholic
What-
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Down the street.
How many
but
Major League pitchers?
That'll be
did you-
enough out of you
Okay.
for Dole.
All right.
Jeez, wow, you had to go there, didn't you?
Sorry.
All right, listen, we'd love to hear from you about the Sixers, about the Phillies, about what's going on in the Philadelphia sports landscape. We've laid a lot of it out there. We want to talk about defining moments. We're talking about this All-Star break coming right now. Do you think it's coming at a great time for the Phillies?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're down. They're certainly not down and out. They just beat the Dodgers, who's one of the best teams in baseball, 2 games in a row. They're going to go for the sweep tonight. They're playing really good baseball. But I just feel like, I don't know, there's just little stuff going on that you just need. It's one of those days, you know what, Ray? Don't get up for work today really early in the morning. Go to Aruba for a week and, take a week off, recharge the batteries. Get done this business that you have. It's another game with the Dodgers, another 3 with the A's. Get done your business. That's great. But I think that this rest period during the All-Star break is coming just at a phenomenal time for your Philadelphia Phillies. There's been some times where you say, oh, man, I wish they weren't going on a break. Like, say if it was the Phillies of last year before, and they played good baseball, but then started to play really good baseball right at the All-Star break, and then you're like, man, I don't want to come in now. I think this is coming at a great time.
I think it's great. And I think that they're just, like you said, this is just a team that you just feel good about. And when you look back on it, what moment has made us get to this point? I think there's a lot of them. Obviously, you're talking about, Max Strom's strikeout of Shohei Ohtani just because of where it was in the game. But I feel like we've had that conversation multiple times this year of like, what a win, the comeback win by 4 runs. Like, will we remember that? Different players stepping up at different times. Alec Boehm, becoming like this RBI type of machine.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that, and it's like we've had so many of those kind of defining type of moments or wins or games that's why we feel so good about this team. And so it's coming at a good time because it's always going to come at a good time when a team is playing so well.
Yeah.
It could have been last week. It would have been like, that's great. If it could have been 2 weeks from now, that's also great.
Yeah, I think what cemented it for me was the Harper hand. Like, little things are starting to pop
but
up.
Then,
and
nope.
And then so it's just like Bryson Stott's starting to come around, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit. That's good. Maybe he needs a break, or maybe it's coming at a bad time for him. But overall, with this team, the bullpen, not shaky, not bad, certainly, just looking a little different. Just maybe it's time for a little bit of a respite where you just, hey, guys, that's cool. Great job. Sleep an extra 2 hours today.
You sleep in.
Yeah, like just get away. Get away from the game.
These guys don't really take. I mean, they do. Some of them do get away, but they get away on their off days. Like we all saw them. I think everybody, if you follow any of them on social media,
right,
on Monday they all went to like one of those hibachis came over.
Yeah,
I love that. They're all together.
Yeah,
these guys spend all this time together, and on their off day, they're like, you know what I want to do? Let's keep hanging out.
Yeah. That is strange because
let's go to the zoo. Let's do, you know what I mean? Like, let's do fun stuff together with our families, which I think is important.
I remember last games before All-Star break, man, those guys could not get out of the locker room
all right,
quick enough.
Seen you guys every day of my life.
Oh, yeah. And I remember, we were in Toronto, and last game before All-Star break, and the guys in the locker room after the game, or before the game, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going straight to the airport and taking off. And I remember Eddie Stefanski calling and saying, you guys can't go anywhere. There's a snowstorm coming in tonight. All flights are canceled out in Toronto. God. So after the game,
for those guys.
After the game, I wrote my story. I remember I got into a cab to meet a couple of the guys, like Zoom off and stuff, to meet a couple of the guys. I get out of my cab at their hotel, and I mean bum rush. Was 3 players, and they're like, Coon, get out of the cab.
Yeah, we need that.
Yeah, we're like, hold on to that for us. We need that cab.
The only one in the
like,
city.
You guys all right? They're like, we can't get on vacation, so we're going out tonight. Like, it's just, and they deserve it. Like,
they earn it. Yeah,
everybody deserves a little vacation. It's a grind physically, mentally for ball players, whatever the sport. So, we'll see what it is. So what's your thoughts on the Phillies right now? It's all generally good. There's no doubt about it. I'm really hyped that they're getting this All-Star break at the right time. Talking about defining plays, because I think we saw one last night in Matt Strom. When you call, let us know your feelings at 610-632-0975. We have a fun little game for you to play. And you can win a pair of tickets to Fan Fest. If you get the right answer, we'll put your name into a hat. If you're the only one to get the answer, you're going to win 2 tickets to Fan Fest. Actually, We have 2 pairs
Yes.
of tickets to give away. So we'll draw 2 names. 610-632-0975. This is Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. welcome back. 11:30 here. Middays, 97.5, The Fanatic, Bob Cooney. Amy Fadul, we're hanging out with you until 2 o'clock. Best show ever.
Best
Ray
show.
Dunn producing today. Ray's, like jogging in place on our breaks. I saw him. He's got a big band, and he's doing the stretching of the arms tonight, so he makes sure the arms loose. He's got a championship game.
There used to be a bat in here. I think he took it, put the donut on it, tried to swing things around.
Well, I did go in there, and he did have the bat, and he was practicing bunting. I was like,
well, that's why you're 7.
And I said, you don't bunt in softball. He's like, if they're going to put me at 7th, maybe I'll just bunt. I'm not good enough to
I
get
really
first
hope his
anymore.
manager is listening.
Yeah, Clown Baller's going for a championship tonight in spite of Ray hitting in the 7-hole. Or maybe the team's just that good. But when your coach texted me and said strictly performance is why you're hitting 7th tonight,
That's tough.
I got to say there's nobody to blame but yourself, Ray.
Tough.
But good luck. Hope all goes well. We're talking about a lot of things today. I think it's a great time for the All-Star break to come for these Phillies. As great as things are, it's okay. I think they just need to sit back, put the feet up, relax a little bit. Maybe there's some guys going some places. Or, maybe they are. Maybe they're having a pool party at one of the guys' houses.
Yeah.
Who knows? They seem to like that. I know they were at Castellanos' house one day, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Somebody, and I can't remember who hosted. I don't know if it was somebody hosted the hibachi.
Yeah. I saw, actually, I know the guy I know the steak guy that was over at Castellanos' house. Yeah, I guess it was. Our friend Matt Rourke is his name from Washington.
They've got
Township,
those.
Good friend of mine.
I've seen those. I've seen people get the guy. They have like a full-on hibachi guy, and he does the whole thing. Like if you're
That's
at like
cool.
the flips up of the shrimp tail and other stuff, and throwing stuff in people's mouths, open mouths. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah,
Fun
different stuff, and it's always fun to have. Nick in Riverside. I think he might agree with me. Nick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
How you guys doing this morning?
Good,
doing
Nick.
great. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. So about the All-Star break, I actually love when it's coming up. I really do. I feel like it gives people a rest, and I feel like after the All-Star break, they'll come back even hotter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I don't know about the hotter, but I just think it's a time, even though they're playing great baseball, even though so many good things are going on with this team, I just feel like as good as things are, you're right, that give them a little rest, maybe they can even get better.
Yes, exactly. And how do you guys, a serious question, this is a little bit of a different topic, but how do you feel about Bryce playing in the All-Star game? Do you think he's going to or no?
Yes, I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll put him out there for like 3 innings. Now, it's all pending on this weekend, of course, Nick. If that hand, a left-handed hitter, your top hand, if it's not feeling all that great when he's following through on his swing, I don't know exactly where it is, if it's in his palm or something like that. If they want to give it some rest, okay. But if he plays both game or the rest of the weekend, yeah, I think he's out at the All-Star game, starting at first, probably playing 3 or 4 innings.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Sure, and then don't hang up because we have a question for you.
Yeah, I know you do. Okay, so with Nola going tonight, I believe, honestly, he usually does. He'll go about 6 or 7 innings, depending on how he does. With Strahm, Hoffman, and Alvarado all going last night, now who do you think will come out of the bullpen?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're hoping to get 6 or 7 out of Nolan. Then it's there's plenty of arms in there. You still have a Soto in there.
Soto's available.
You still have a Sir Anthony ready to go. So you have guys ready.
So that's who you think? You think it would be Soto and Sir Anthony, or do you think Hoffman would go again?
He could.
I mean, if it's another save-in situation in the 9th, I would think you could pull him out again.
Yeah, you could. And then the good thing is, if you're closing out a game, you have so many guys. Kirkering didn't have a good outing last night. He could go again.
He could go again.
I think you have plenty of arms down there. All right, Nick, I need you to pick a sport. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey.
I'm gonna go with basketball.
All right, basketball. You know how the game's played. I'll give you an example. If I gave you 21 NWBJE, that would be 21 number worn by Joel Embiid. All right,
correct.
I'll give you one. The number is 2, and the acronym is NBA CBS. NBA CBS.
Tyrese Maxey, National Basketball Association.
Why did you go Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah, no. It's just
It's
it starts
two.
with N.
NBA CBS.
Yeah, you got me.
Well,
honestly,
NBA. What does NBA stand for?
National Basketball Association. I'm trying to think of number 2.
Well, no, yeah, that's just
Championships by Sixers.
yeah. So 2 NBA championships.
All right, good try, Nick. You started it off for us.
Yeah,
Good
it's a tough
try.
one.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Appreciate the call. Good thinking about the. He's with me that he thinks this All-Star break is coming at just a good time for this team. Now, look, if you're a mediocre team, if you're the Braves, I don't think you're thinking much about this break right now. You're just saying, man, we want guys to get that
exactly.
are injured to get
Trying
healthy.
to get healthy.
Yeah, and you just want to all right, it's coming. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
We're going to be 10 games behind the Phillies.
If you're a bad team, you're just looking
you were
for the
hoping
break.
this was the end of the season.
You're just looking for a break, period.
And we've been there before, too. So
It's like, oh, goodness. We've got our one guy in there because that's how it has to work. Thanks a lot.
now, it's funny. Wheeler's not going to pitch in the All-Star game.
No.
So of the 7, now you're down to 6. I don't think. Who else do we have that we were talking about?
So
Harper probably will
Bohm
play.
will
The other. Yeah,
Bohm,
I
Trey
think.
Turner. They got half the infield.
I think they'll all start. They'll all get announced. They'll all start. Out of the bullpen, Hoffman, Strom, and Suarez. Now, Rangers scheduled to go Saturday. He could probably throw an inning. You know him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're writing a note out for Ranger. No, you have to write a note for each one of your players. Your mom, Amy, and you're the mother of all these guys on the Phillies that are going. What is your note if you're all right? We're going to do all 7 here. Amy.
Okay.
You're Bryce Harper's mom. What's your note to the manager of the All-Star game concerning your boy Bryce Harper?
Dear manager, please take care of my guy because he's going to go all out. Love, Mom.
Okay. No, all right, I'm dad. I'm going to put P.S. This is his dad. Please play him no more than 4 innings. Okay?
Don't listen to him when he says he doesn't want to come out of the game.
Yeah, right? Let's go to Trey Turner.
Okay.
Dear manager. Go ahead,
Dear manager, have fun with this guy. Fella. I had to say.
All right, I'll go P.S. again. This is his dad. Play him as much as you want.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun.
All right,
Put him
that's
out there.
good. Alec Boehm.
Same thing. Same exact note.
Same note?
C note for Trey.
P.S. Dad agrees. All right,
go.
there we are there. Okay, so we got those guys. Now we got to go to the 4 pitchers.
Okay.
Let's start with Hoffman.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Dear manager, pitch him 1 inning.
Okay.
No. Pitch him 2 batters.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 batters.
P.S.
Love, Mom.
Dad says give him save opportunity.
Oh, okay. Oh,
okay.
That's good. Okay.
All right, let's go to Strom.
Dear manager, pitch him 1 inning. Love, Mom.
P.S. Dad loves Mom, but respectfully disagrees. Pitch him against 1 left-handed batter.
1. He only gets 1 batter?
left-handed batter, yeah.
Oh, 1 batter.
Okay. All right. Now, this is a big one
I know
here.
it is.
Ranger Suarez.
Hola, manager. ¿Cómo está? No. Hello, manager.
That was good.
Thank you. Dear manager, my son Ranger wants to play so bad. He's never been to an All-Star game. You need to be careful with him. He gets to face 2 batters.
We just found out who Mom loves the best. All the rest were one little sentence. No, Ranger gets a paragraph. Talk about the favorite child there.
I'm most concerned about him. Everybody else I'm not concerned about.
He's your favorite. Okay. So, P.S. Dad says, see above what Mom wrote. And don't let him, he is a charmer. Do not let him talk you into anything more than what we've asked. Yeah. I think we're
Dear
okay.
manager, here's a picture of Zach Wheeler. That's as close as you're going to get.
All right.
Love, Mom.
Okay. P.S. Dad totally agrees with Mom 1,000%. And we advise you the Philadelphia fans will find you if
We
you
will
don't listen
find you,
to us.
and we will make you pay.
Yeah, so those are our notes for said manager. Who the hell is who's the manager of the Arizona
Lavolo.
Diamondbacks? What?
Lavolo.
Oh.
Why is T his first name? Tony?
Tony.
Tony, yeah.
Lavolo.
All right, so that's our notes that we're giving.
Torrey,
right
Torrey.
there.
Torrey Navolo.
Yeah, something like that. Who
Diamondbacks
cares?
manager.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Rob Thompson will be the manager of the National League next year.
Well, we
That's all.
need Torrey to keep taking care of business with the Braves this week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they beat them
so
last night.
We're
About
pro
time.
Torrey right now.
They-
I got to be honest, I didn't like watching that game the other night. The Braves won the game. That was part of it. But, like, every time Diamondbacks did something good, I was upset. Every time the Braves did something good, I was upset. You know?
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Diamondbacks in this scenario, but even seeing them do something well kind
Do
of
not
upset
like.
me. Yeah.
No,
So
you
mad.
have to root for him. There's no doubt about that.
I am upset on their behalf for Christian Walker.
That's a bummer.
It is.
Absolute bummer. It's a shame. They got to get Pete Alonso.
got to get Polar Bear.
Oh, he's going to be in the home run derby again.
Of course he is.
Go lift weights before you go hit the home runs again.
Yeah, was that
like-
one of
yeah,
the?
That was nuts. That was terrible.
Terrible. Okay, I was looking for
Terrible.
a word and I didn't.
It's
I almost-
nonsense.
It was.
It looked
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Are you not self-aware enough that you say to a camera guy, like, look, dude, I
No.
just don't want to look like a jerk,
I
but
think he's too self-aware.
No, that's what he
Exactly.
wants to look like. That.
Exactly. I think
I
he's
will
too
say,
self-aware.
the-
It's like the Gabe Kapler school.
One thing that I have enjoyed about the last couple months, the Mets have now got themselves back to 500, which means they probably won't trade Pete Alonso, which means there is a good chance. No, I won't say a good chance, but there is a chance that Pete Alonso walks for nothing over the offseason,
ooh,
which would be nice.
Wow.
interesting.
Is there? Yeah. So
Because
they're
that
not
was the
going
whole
to trade
thing.
him.
When they
Yeah,
were bad,
exactly.
it was like,
Yep.
oh, they're going to trade Pete Alonso because he might not stay
Right.
there over the offseason. I would love to watch him walk for nothing.
Just to make him pay again.
Yeah, like I kind of want them to be like
Just
kind
to
of
be ha-ha.
I want them to hover around 500 at the trade deadline, and then instead of like their June swoon they usually go through, like have that happen in August, where they just kind of bottom out. Remember, I think it was the Angels. Was it last year? Where they like added a couple pieces and then they just fell apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of like teetering. Oh, they're going
Right.
to. And then it was just like.
Are we going to get Trout back? Are we not going to get Trout back? Yeah.
Let's try to harness this.
I kind of want the Mets to be around that part and then just totally have the bottom fall out in August. And then Pete Alonso just becomes so disgruntled with everything happening there that it's like, yeah, I'm just going to walk somewhere else.
Interesting. Hope he
that's
doesn't walk somewhere that could hurt the Phillies. Like,
I mean, he's
Where?
already with the Mets.
yeah, well, that's true.
Braves
too.
have a first baseman.
I mean, a real team. Yeah, they do. They do have a pretty
the
good
Marlins
first
aren't
God.
going to pay for Pete Alonso.
Every time Matt
base.
Olson
Don't forget
comes
DH.
to the plate, I'm like, how big is this? He grows like an inch.
I know, right?
I'm like, how big is this guy?
It does seem like that,
Massive.
too. You're exactly right. All right, when we get back, we're having some fun with some things. I got to tell you, I did hear a little something today that I don't know if I can let it go. And I heard it on the morning show. And I'm sorry, I did. But I just, I want to see where the pulse is on this certain player that may have fouled out in 12 minutes last night in the USA game. So we'll take a look at that. Also, we have a fun game for you to play. When you call and give us your thoughts about Phillies, Sixers, whatever it may be we're talking about, I think this is a great time for the All-Star game to come. Also, a defining moment of the season last night may have just happened. Do you have a defining moment of a season in Philadelphia that you remember? 610-632-0975. This is Middays. Amy Fadul here with us all day today. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. Approaching the 12 o'clock hour here at the Fanatic. Glad you're with us. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday because, as Amy and I always tell you, it is the best day of the week. Just got an invite from my son, Kyle. Hey, I can get cheap tickets. Want to go to the Phillies game tonight?
Really?
Yeah.
Cheap tickets for this game?
He
must have
Kyle just got a raise. He's got money in his pocket. Yeah, him and Ray, they just throw money here and there and everywhere. It doesn't matter. Ray having dinner last night out on the veranda of a golf club.
Oh.
A country club. Yeah, we just went to the club and sat out on the veranda. It was nice. We were
what
in the shade.
What kind of fanciness was this?
Whoa.
This is who he is.
This is not who I am.
This is after having lunch with me yesterday and somebody else, and then he just fancies over to the country club and grabs some dinner.
That's my thing. I didn't even know what he meant. He texted me where we were going. I was like, what is that? He's like, oh, it's the country club I'm a member at. I was like, oh, okay.
All right.
You have friends.
If you're living that life, fine. I'll live that life. But
see, now Amy and I are of the age, and maybe because, we've worked our whole lives, which is probably as long as you've been alive, like we probably have friends that might belong to country clubs. Your friends are already belonging, huh?
My one friend is, yes, already belonging to.
They do a lot of the clubs do like the young. They want to get the younger members in. There's like a deal. Like I don't want to say it's a deal, but you get a little bit
deal,
of a break.
huh? I never got that. Did you get that deal? I never got that.
You don't know how to have the country club conversation with me. I'm a country club kid.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Sorry.
I didn't get that
anybody
deal
else
either.
grow up in the gutters like I did? Like, am I the only one?
Sorry.
Unbelievable. I swear. All right, we're talking a lot
Not
today.
fancy.
A lot of different things. But anyway, Ray, you had a great night on the veranda at the country club.
I did. A couple of cold refreshments and then a nice sandwich. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's
Got to
nice.
catch up
Yeah.
with some friends.
See, that's good.
I love that.
Lovely.
Yeah. See, I'm happy for you.
I was outside of the city for once. Thanks a lot. I'm not usually
You're
outside.
outside of the city for dinner the night before.
Yeah, I
that,
know.
too.
It's kind of weird. I came home. I was like, said to my roommate, I was like, all this food that I bought this week for me to eat. It's like, we're running out of time for me to eat that.
It's still there. My kids, I have two of my kids are like, if the milk, July 12th. If it's July 12th, I swear I'll wake up that day, glub, 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 pouring it down the sink.
That's not how that works.
That's what I try to tell them. Well, one of us, my oldest, he's not at home much at all anymore. He doesn't really live with us. But Tommy, our son who's with us,
You're a real stickler for that date.
Unbelievable. Like he sent me a text. Now Tommy doesn't text. Tommy's my son with autism. He doesn't text all that much. Like hardly at all.
Yeah.
I got a text from him on the ride home the other day because he heard my wife asking me to stop at the store and pick up some things. He sends me a text, and it's like milk sour, need new milk. That's what he said. So I went home, and sure enough, there's the gallon of milk sitting on sitting on the counter. I look at it; it's the same date as it is that day, like July 8th or something.
Not
I'm
how
like,
that works.
I keep telling him, but he just
all right.
he just won't go for it.
If you buy organic milk, that's the way to go because the organic milk, the expiration date is like I've got
years
one right
out?
now. Not years, but I've got one now. I think it's like Labor Day.
Are you kidding? Really?
It's unbelievable. It's just the way that it's pasteurized. I don't know what it is.
So where do you get like Whole Foods or something?
No,
you
just the Acme.
They have organic.
Yeah, like
milk?
Horizon. There's all kinds of organic milk.
Oh,
yeah.
is that right? Just
look for it. And when you look for it, look at the expiration date on the organic milk versus the regular milk.
Okay.
I have no idea why. It's more expensive, obviously, but it's worth it because it's like 2 months from now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you do food shopping mainly, or do you guys do it together, or is it a family outing?
No, with 2 kids, we'd never leave the candy aisle or the chip aisle, or the cookie aisle, or the drink aisle. It would be actually
Sounds
bad.
like me shopping right now.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, I do the food shop.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I was telling Ray, and
Labor of love.
Ray saw it firsthand the other night. We do the food shopping together, and I like doing it. I really do. I like doing it. We hit a couple different stores and all that to get the different things. But I was saying to Ray when he was over the other day, I was like, yeah, we kind of do everything together, and it's minimal stuff. But the other night, my daughter needed to be driven down to her friend's house, like 20 minutes away, the old town where we used to live. And I was saying to Ray, like, we were going to hang out and do our stuff and all that, and I had it, and I said, then, Jenna's going to go down to her friends, and I said, it's like a family thing. Me, Donna, Tommy, we're all going to get in the car
That's it.
and drive
The
Jenna
group
down to her
effort.
friends. But Donna wasn't feeling good because of her neck. She's got this crick in her neck that she just can't get rid of. And so I said, look, you're not feeling right. I'll just drive Jenna down. And it was like a rarity that we're not all in the car together.
We're not doing this together.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. But we're talking about defining moments in a season, and Bill in Utah has a couple. Bill, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks.
Good.
So I kind of got two, man. Roy Halladay, no-hitter in the postseason.
That sure was defining against those Cincinnati Reds, no question about it.
Yeah. And my favorite, and the guy answering the phone kind of wasn't familiar with this one.
That's because he wasn't. Yeah, I can see. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
But Flyers beating the Soviets, man.
That was defining not only for the Flyers, but probably for the whole NHL. Because for people that don't know, this was back in '76, right, Bill?
Yeah, 75, 76.
Yeah.
NHL, the Soviets had came over and beaten up pretty much on all the elite teams in the NHL at that time.
Oh, they crunched everybody, yeah.
Yeah. And they came in walking into the Spectrum thinking, it's going to be a cakewalk. Yeah. Not with the Broad Street Bullies. I mean, they quit. They went in the locker room. Ed Schneider went in there and said, you want to get paid.
You got to come back in.
Blank out on the ice before you're not getting paid.
Yeah, number 2, Ed Van Imp had a big hit, and the Soviets didn't like it. They left the ice. Flyers wound up, I think it was a 4-1 win, if I'm not mistaken. Sunday afternoon, I remember it was. That was pretty cool. All right, Bill, we're playing a game here. I don't know if you've heard it, and some of the people on our YouTube page are like, yeah, this is too confusing. If it is, maybe we'll stop it. I thought it might have been something fun. It's kind of an acronym game. So give me a sport: baseball, basketball, football, hockey.
We'll go hockey. I understand it, but it is. I understand what your
all right,
format is.
I'm going to give you an easy one.
Yeah, here you go.
You just talked about this, kind of. The number is 2. 2 SCWBF. SCWBF. Now, the B always stands for by.
Yeah.
All right, BF.
BF. B as in boy, F as in
SC.
Frank.
W.
So SCW boy.
Yeah. S as in
Frank.
Sam. C as in cat. B as in boy.
All right.
S is in Stanley.
I almost said the F.
C. W.
All right. BF.
Right, you might.
BF is kind of tough. 22 Stanley Cup.
No, just
So
2.
2 Stanley Cups. W. BF. 1.
By.
Wow.
Liars.
Okay,
all
fine.
right,
Yeah,
we tried.
that's
We tried.
right.
Go on,
That's
throw it,
right.
Bill. Is that for this whole
Is it
game?
too hard?
It might be that for the
All right.
whole game.
I don't think it's that. Like,
I
we
don't
used to
think-
play this game all the time
Yeah, I
with
didn't think it was
different
that
things.
hard.
No.
It's also, but you have, when you're doing that conversation, you kind of have the flow of the conversation. Here you have the dead air of someone trying to think and work through the acronym
right.
in their head. Then you're talking to them, so then you're distracting them. I think this is becoming a little difficult for the brain.
Okay.
For the call.
cannot
So we'll put it this way. Here's
All right.
how we're going to put it. When you call, talk about Phillies. There's so many great things going on with the Phillies. I just love it. I love that the All-Star break is coming at this time. I love that they have possibility of having a lot of people playing in it. But when we get back, we're going to talk to Matt Breen. If you want to talk to us about anything and you want to play the game, you understand the game, you can ask us and we'll play it. We will not force it upon you. No, we will not do that. 610-632-0975. When we get back, Matt Breen from the Inquirer is going to join us middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. o'clock hour here on Middays. Glad you're with us. Hope you're having a beautiful Thursday. Really nice out there today. Humidity has taken a little bit of a break. I don't want to be the bearer of bad weather news, but it looks like coming up early next week, it's going to be
a little bit of rain.
Crazy, but hot.
Yeah.
Like we're
a little
talking.
Bit of rain tomorrow, I think I saw.
Good.
Tomorrow?
We need the rain.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is, and then I think does it start rain and then clear up, or no? Maybe it goes into Saturday and then Saturday clears up, something like that. But we do need the rain. Apparently, we got a lot of it last night around the area. I know this morning I got up. You could tell it rained. There wasn't damp, it wasn't puddles or anything, but you could tell it rained. And the grass is a little bit greener, so that's all right with me. You know who's always all right with me? That's Matt Breen from the Philadelphia Inquirer. He joins us on the Comcast Business Hotline right now. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How you guys doing today?
Hey, Matt.
Doing great. And it's a great time to be in the Philadelphia sports scene, Matt. Like yesterday, it was funny. I brought up one of our subjects. I said, we talked about the Roaring 20s at this station when it was, like early 2020. We were talking, or even earlier than that. Oh, man, the Eagles are in a great spot because they have this guy Carson Wentz. And the Sixers are in a great spot because they have this guy Ben Simmons to pair with Joel Embiid. And, the Phillies, their owner just said he's going to spend a lot of money, so they're going to be in a great spot too. We're hitting that stride right about now, aren't we, Matt?
Yeah, but then it's like once you think things are good, that's when you get fooled. Like when it was Carson Wentz, Mickey Moniak, Ben Simmons, and whoever the Flyers picked, I can't even think of it right now, but all four of them.
Patrick Nolan.
Patrick Nolan. Nolan Patrick.
Nolan Patrick.
There you go.
I meant comma. Patrick, comma, Nolan.
Things are good, and it's not like wishful thinking. Things are good. There's, like we talked about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago about superstars, like kids, the jerseys that kids can buy for these teams. I mean, there's legitimate talent in the city right now, and legitimate, the class of each team, you can make a case is in the upper echelon of their league.
It's and the the names that I brought up and what we said was that's what we thought it was going to be, and then it was slam on the brakes, and it went a totally different way. But we're getting there right now. Go ahead, Aim.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We were talking about also timing of, and I know we've talked to you about this before, how this team just seems to find ways to either win or come through when, things are going against them. JT Realmuto injury, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber going on the IL for a bit. The timing of the All-Star break, I think, is always going to be a good one when you have some injuries dinged up. But you're watching that game last night, and, Bryce Harper, we get the late notice that he was hit in the hand and it's bruised, and he tried to go and he couldn't go. Kyle Schwarber comes out, it's second game back, and of course he hits a home run. Like a game that you were like, oh, I don't know, like you're probably not going to score 9 runs of no Harper in this lineup. Didn't matter. Do you ever get a sense, and I'm not going to call them a team of destiny because it is just July, but there is something that it seems like even when things are trying to go against them, they somehow find them to turn it around, I guess.
Yeah, and they've dealt with like nagging, either serious injuries or nagging injuries. It seems like all year, like something's popping up. It's Realmuto at the neck early, and Turner obviously goes out, and now Harper's out, and it just, yet they're still, you look at the standings, 8.5 games up, and they're still winning. They're first team to win 60 games, and they've powered through. And the benefit of playing like that is now you can look, like you said, the All-Star break's coming up. You can look at it and say, you know what, Bryce Harper has a bruised hand. Zach Wheeler's probably shouldn't start Sunday, but you have the benefit of an 8.5 game lead, winning 60 games in the first half, and the Oakland A's are coming to town, and you can pump the brakes, and you can get these guys extra rest. Where those, if you're not winning at the clip you're winning, those IL stints, nagging injuries, day-to-day guys, like that's a huge deal. But here, it's kind of like background noise that it's, the one of the best players in baseball might not be in the lineup tonight, and it's not the end of the world because the team's playing so good because a guy like Kyle Schwarber comes off the IL and hits a home run. So they have a talent. It's just a really good team. This is what they should be. They should have last year had been in the division race in the summertime and not been looking at the wild card. Like they're a team built to win the division, and they're a team built to make noise in October, and they're playing like it. So you just have to avoid any serious injuries, and the way to avoid that is to be smart in the summertime and get rest for your guys when you can, and that's what they can do this week.
And another part of it, Matt, is the their locker room, their clubhouse is one that is very close and talked about an awful lot. And you've been in clubhouses covering teams many times. Of course, Amy has also. I have too. You know what the feeling of a locker room is. But there's also, in baseball, because you have so many different players, you have to put the best team out there. I think you know the situation I'm speaking of, and when it comes to Garrett Stubbs. Is that something? It is, and you're right. It's like laughable now because he's a great locker room guy.
Yeah,
but if you're bettering the team, I mean, would that prohibit them from keeping Marshawn for the rest of this year? Do you think it would be more detrimental than it would keeping him?
Yeah, I think it would. The guy, he's a backup catcher. When the team is healthy, he's the backup catcher to JT Realmuto, which means he plays at most once a week.
Right.
There's no pinch hitting anymore, so your backup catcher isn't ever coming off the bench to pinch hit. It's such a, like right now it's a conversation point because the starting catcher's out, and there's obviously a decision that's going to have to be made when Realmuto comes back later this month. But I think in the long term, the benefits that he brings, like we're talking about this team and what makes them so special, and they all like each other in this great clubhouse. For them to go into that clubhouse later this month and to disrupt it by sending Stubbs out, it would be complete for a guy that's never going to play. It would be completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
it's like I get it. Marshawn looks great, and it's great to have depth at that position, especially with JT being banged up. But I would be completely stunned if this ends up with Stubbs out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is something to it. I know there's people out there that think like, oh, they wouldn't fall apart if Garrett Stubbs wasn't there. No, but why would you take the chance of them not being as cohesive if he is there? Like, I think that it's just I love that here in Philadelphia we joke about the things that we're worried about, and it's the backup catcher who, like you said, plays maybe once a week. It's the fifth starter. It's the platoon in left field. These are all really good problems to have because they're not any glaring errors. When you look at how this team is constructed, though, and going forward, we've got word that there might be a case of them going with the six-man rotation. Zach Wheeler has said multiple times that he does not like that, but the way August is going to line up, maybe it won't be as noticeable. Do you make anything of kind of extending that in August right before basically, they're down to the nitty-gritty?
I probably would keep them on their normal terms, especially, if Nola doesn't want extra rest, Wheeler doesn't want extra rest. I think you have to listen to those guys, and they have to. You can't disrupt your top stars and how they want to play and when they want to pitch. So it would make sense. Obviously, you want to maximize, their health and everything like that. But I just think to build in an extra day, it's not worth throwing them off whack, because then come playoff time, you might need them on short rest. So I just think you need to keep these guys how they like to pitch. They're kind of conditioned machines. You have to, if that's how they want to go every fifth day, and that's how it's got to be.
You talk about keeping these pitchers normal, Matt. We're talking to Matt Breen of The Inquirer on the Comcast Business Hotline. Tom McCarthy was on with us the other day, and he said he was in the clubhouse and saw Ranger Suarez and said, how you feeling, whatever. And he said Ranger kind of chuckled and said, yeah, I've lost my slider. Looking at Ranger, he's got the family back. People have brought that up. He got hit on the hand, 5 starts ago. Maybe there's some tiredness there. It's not a major factor in my eyes. But what do you think has been the little bit of a gone wrong with Ranger Suarez right about now?
I think it's just where we are in the season, and it's the middle of the summer. Usually, you look at Ranger Suarez like career splits. It seems like he always hits a wall in the middle of the summer, and it's a guy that's pitching on pace to pitch more innings than he's ever pitched before. He had a full spring training, which he really hasn't had in the last 4 years. And we talked about that, how important that was at the beginning of the season. But now you think of it like as trying to make sense of this. It's like, okay, well, that was a heavier workload than he ever had in the spring. Then now he's having a heavier workload in this regular season. So it makes sense that, and he usually kind of hits the wall in July, and now he's hitting that wall, it seems like. And then he comes on the other side of that wall, and he pitches the way he does in October. So I think it's just normal, dead arm, as they call it in baseball, where it just you fatigue sets in, you lose it for a couple weeks, and then next thing you know, it's the All-Star break. I would be shocked, again, if he pitches in the All-Star game. I think the Phillies will make sure that doesn't happen, and he gets about a week off, and then he comes back on the other side of this, and he's fine. I don't think it's anything more than just a guy that has a heavy workload and his fatigue is starting to set in.
I've got to ask you about, I read the article earlier about the bullpen cart. So when I looked at the giveaways, and I have got young kids, and I know you understand this, so when you always look for fun little things, because we go to a lot of Phillies games, this has to be, and this is just adults included, but the giveaway is just for 14 and under. So I've already had multiple requests for me to try to somehow abscond all of these. So they're giving away a little teeny bullpen cart. It's got to be one of the most popular giveaways. Everybody was so excited about this. And I have to confess, when I saw Major League, and you know, Jake obviously famously drove, I didn't think that was a real thing. And my dad, I remember being like, no, they used to do that, because we're so conditioned to, it's become such a, an orchestrated celebration of when the closer's coming in, the lights go out, music's playing, and whatever else. There's all great things. So I didn't know the bullpen cart was real. You have a great article on the evolution of, because it used to start as almost like a fire truck golf cart. But can you just talk about, one, how popular do you think this giveaway is going to be? And two, because you spoke to people that drove this cart and rode in it. It's crazy. The fact that they used to drive the pitcher out and drop him off at first base is mind-boggling to me.
And it was normal back then. One pitcher, Ron Reed,
here's a baseball with wheels.
Silly, right? I was Ron Reed, who's on the Phillies Wall of Fame. I was like, you felt silly, right? Driving out there, and he didn't understand what I meant. That in any world that would be goofy to ride out in the game, trying to close out a game, and you're coming out in a huge baseball cart. So it just was part of the way it was, and I can't imagine it. I couldn't imagine tonight. It's a save situation. Here comes Jeff Hoffman hopping into a big baseball golf cart and getting dropped off at first base. It's just the world has changed so much, and I agree. The giveaway is awesome. They usually do.
Yes,
really good giveaways. As a kid, that's what I always looked at first. It's the promotion schedule in the wintertime when it came out, and that's honestly how I got this idea for the story. The promotion schedule came out in the wintertime. I saw the golf cart. I'm like, did the Phillies ever use one of these? And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, they did. So I was like, all right, I'll put that in my back pocket and try to do that in the summertime. And I did not know that at the vet, the first year of the vet, they had a fire truck that drove out pitchers because they'd put out the fire. So we dug up a picture of that, and I'm covering the game tonight. So I'm hoping that, in my dream world is they have a bullpen cart waiting there tonight to use it, but I don't think we're that lucky.
That's the thing I learned in your story, is that this was a Major League Baseball thing. They sent out 24 of these carts for everybody to use. Oh, yeah. It's just incredible to me. And they dropped them off at first base. You got to read the story. It's great.
Yeah, because they didn't want to get wheel marks on the infield. The Mets had one.
It's just
the
ridiculous.
Mets had one in the shape of an apple.
Of course,
big apple, but painted in
Mets colors?
No, it was painted like a baseball.
Oh.
But it had an apple on the top of it. And it would go, if I remember correctly, it would go up and down as it was driving the Mets.
That's just like a toy. This is crazy. You guys have to read the story. Matt, you did people's work on this one, because I learned so much about the bullpen cart situation.
I did way too much research. For some reason, the Mets actually got two carts. Everybody else got one cart. The Mets team, they got two. They got one for the visitor and the road for Major League Baseball. So, Bob, it's funny you bring that up. I don't know why, but if you have any more bullpen cart questions, I am your expert.
I love it.
All right, I'm going to end you with this, Matt, and it's a question that I threw out there to our audience yesterday, and we had a lot of fun answers on it. And since I know you, I feel comfortable putting this out to you. And the question was this: if I could do without something in sports, it would be this. We had a lot of great answers yesterday. Stephen A. Smith was one of our answers.
I can tell you the one that won.
Euro John was one of our answers, who's a caller.
The one that won was having a representative from every team in Major League Baseball's All-Star game.
Yes, that was one, and the Boston Celtics was another one. Yeah, but if you could do without one thing in sports, and I know it's not bullpen carts, if you could do without one thing in sports, Matt, what would it be?
Well, I love that there's one representative from each team in the All-Star game, because as a kid, the Phillies were terrible most years.
There you go.
I had a guy every summer to watch. So I love that, but I will say those basketball, like the Ben Simmons shooting videos in the summertime.
Oh, tremendous.
I've had enough of them. So that is what I would do without.
That's a tremendous.
That's a
that would
perfect
have won
one.
yesterday.
Well,
That's a
Matt,
great
you
one.
got a perfect day to go cover a game. It's beautiful out there today. Hope you have a good time doing it, and can't wait to talk to you next week.
Thanks a lot, Amy. Thanks, Bob. Take
All
care.
right,
Matt.
buddy. Matt Breen from the Inquirer on our Comcast Business Hotline. Matt's such a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's just a down to earth. Yeah, it's funny. You and I know the game. I throw the question to him, and then me and you stall for him so he can come up with a really good answer. And he comes in. All right, we're going to end this segment. Amy's been writing a lot during the our break during this time that we were talking with Matt.
Yes.
Earlier in the day, Amy, as a mother type, air quotes, of the Phillies going to the All-Star game, wrote a note to the manager. Well, she wrote another note to another manager, and it concerns tonight's championship game at 6:30. Ray Dunn and the Clown Ballers are playing for a softball championship down at the Navy Yard tonight. Ray has been positioned to bat 7th in the lineup, much to his chagrin. The manager has been alerted. The manager responded to me saying it's all based on performance, which doesn't speak well to Ray. I said to Amy, what do you think of this? She grabbed the pen. She, did the old thing where she put it, boom, I'm going to write him. He's going to hear from me. So here's the letter that Amy has written to Ray's manager.
Dear manager, scratch that. Manager, it has come to my attention that my son Ray has been demoted in the lineup to 7th. I was under the impression these were excused absences for our vacation. Therefore, he should not be punished. If you are going to say it's performance related, I will point you to the first 10 games of his season and his performance what warranted him batting first or second. Please send me the exact details as to why he has been demoted in the lineup. Regards, Mom.
Wow.
Doesn't
There
get
it
a
is.
love, Mom.
We got your back, Ray.
I appreciate this.
We've
This
got
is
your
coming
back.
across as some of the, I don't want to say worse than youth sports, but it's starting to go towards that line.
Try to be very civil.
One of our YouTubers, Rick Morse. Ray Dunn equals Casty.
Nasty.
That's not now that's a problem.
Just saying.
That's a
So-
problem. You can't compare me on that one.
It's not good.
I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, before 2:00 we will get this resolved. Not that Mom or me or anyone else is looking to get you moved up simply because we brought it up.
I didn't say that. I just said I wanted
know.
to see
You
the
just
reasons.
wanted proof. Manager has reached out once today. Maybe he'll reach out again. He cannot come on these airways due to work things, place where, whatever.
Yeah, super.
So maybe there will be some correspondence to find out exactly why Ray has been demoted to the 7th spot in his softball team, a team that is co-ed. How many women are you batting behind? Does it have to be a certain order?
Yeah, it has to be certain. There has to be like a certain number of people. I think it's like can't go 5 guys in a row.
Oh, okay.
Or like 6, something like that.
Okay. All right. So that's where Ray is. That's how we're going to handle this, and we'll just have to see what happens. I don't know. I brought it up earlier before we talked to Matt Breen. I have to discuss it a little bit, just a little bit, because the morning show brought it up today, and I was shocked. Just shocked. So I'll bring it up. It's about the guy, big guy. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
6,
Tallest one on the team.
7'2".
Yeah, tallest one
Who
on
plays
Team
for
USA.
the 76ers. Yeah, and he's on Team USA.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, wow, you must be one of the
Awesome.
12 best players in the world.
The world.
Like something like that. But we'll talk about that, of where he ranks maybe in Philadelphia athletic lure of current players. All that and a whole lot more. This is Middays. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic. A lot of feedback about your letter, Aim. We're getting on our YouTube page. Amy wrote a letter
feedback
to
or bad feedback?
to Ray's manager. Ray is competing for a championship tonight in his co-ed softball league. Ray saw. Now, how early do they put out your lineup? That's amazing. You had it at like 10 o'clock this morning.
He makes it a tradition midnight the night of the day of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
so at midnight last night, Ray got the news that in the championship game, he will not be batting first, where he batted a lot this season. Nor will he be batting second, where he did a little bit. Nor third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. No, Ray is hitting out of the seventh hole in the championship game tonight. He is a little frustrated. It was the first. Ray walks in every day. We have the same routine. I'm sitting at my desk. He walks in. Hey, Ray, what's up? We shake each other's hand, good firm handshake, say hello to each other, and I can usually read what kind of mood he's in. 99.9% of the time, smile on his face, good move, maybe a tinge of roughness around the edges sometimes, once in a while. But today, it was handshake, good, Al, Ray, you're doing good. And then I turned around and I said, what's the matter? And he goes, what do you mean? And I said, Ray, come on. I'm getting to know you really well. You had dinner at my house the other night. Like, I know who you are now. And he kind of blinked his eyes and the head drooped just a little bit. And he said, I'm hitting seventh tonight in the championship game. And I was like, all right, well, maybe that's where they need. No, I've been hitting first. So anyway, Ray is quite upset about it. Amy wrote a letter to the manager of the All-Star game for the Phillies asking him how to use said Phillies in the All-Star game. She also decided to write a letter to Ray's manager. Ray, the people on our YouTube page basically said if they were your manager, they would tell you to go get the beer and ice before the game and hurry up and start the game while you were doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to just, aside from the fun fairy tale you just told about this morning, I want justice for one person at this station because I feel like now I feel for this guy because we have ripped on him and ripped on him and ripped on him for a number of things, and a lot of them justified. The amount that's been made about my softball championship, I think Connor Thomas is a little vindicated today for talking so much about his softball career.
I thought he talked about his baseball career.
Well, it's a softball career.
He talks about his whole career, even though he didn't really have one. I mean, he played. It's funny. I'm like, oh, so what? How many? Did you pitch like every other game in high school? Oh no, I barely played. Oh, I thought you were, And then, but I pitched in college. Oh, how much you pitched? Well, I had 9 straight innings of scoreless baseball. I said, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it was the only 9 innings I pitched. So I don't know where his career exactly was when it comes to Connor. But you're our team. He's not. He's morning show. He's morning show team.
Yeah, I got it.
You're our team.
I just know, like, I've made jokes about him and in the softball being brought up a ton about him. I kind of feel for him today because there's just more being made about a different softball guy.
Unlike Connor, you're playing for championships, okay?
Wow.
So let's leave it at that.
Oof.
Let us leave it at that. Okay, one thing I can't just leave down. So this morning they're talking about Joel Embiid and how the greatness he is, and maybe this is a change of his season. And one of the guys on the morning show said, but Embiid, good. Individual accolades and everything, that's great. I cannot put him on the same tier as Bryce Harper.
Was there a reason why?
He hasn't taken a team to a championship. Of course, the argument is either has Bryce Harper.
Part of that is the word team in that sentence.
The argument back was, well, Bryce Harper has come closer, knocked on the door with his team than Joel Embiid has. And the back and forth went on and on and on. And at first, I maybe through the whole thing, I kind of rolled my eyes and I'm like, really? And the person this morning saying, look, individual accolades don't mean anything to me. I want championships. Of course we all want championships. Yeah. But if we're not talking individual accolades, what exactly are we talking about here? Like, is Joel Embiid not one of the 3 best players in the world right now or 5 best players in the world right now?
Certainly one of the 12 best.
Yeah, that's proven. But let's go 5. They're starting him.
Yeah. I mean,
he played a whole 12 minutes before fouling out.
Guy's a two-time scoring champ, back-to-back, well on his way last year. He was having another incredible season. He's gotten better every single year he's been here. He is a game changer. That's not just me saying it, oh, yeah, look at you. That's literally every coach that you'll ever talk to, current and past. That's players that played against him, players that play with him, opponents. The amount of respect that he garners is almost laughable. He is always in a double team. Always in a double. Think about that.
Right.
Every single time he touches the ball. And the big knockout. Oh, he has to get these a free throw monger. fine, stop fouling him, but he makes those free throws. Like, it's just incredible. The people that don't, it's like when you mentioned it, I think yesterday, like, when do you want to be in the glory days? When you know when you're in them? We're going to look back and think, this guy played in a Sixers uniform, and some people might not have appreciated it.
Right, and Connor and Andrew both said, now the conversation goes further. I am not picking on John Kincade at all. I'm not, because what it did was made me think, and that's why I bring this up, and you'll hear what I'm saying first. So Connor and Andrew both said, this is by far the most talented Sixer I've ever seen, and probably will be. And then the talk came to Allen Iverson, and it was he didn't win a championship, and John rightfully said he carried a team to a championship finals. Great point. And he did. And then John brought up another good point where he said, Iverson, you never had to worry about effort and was he going to be there. Sometimes, Embiid, you do. And he went back to Game 6 against Boston, the last half of Game 6. He went to all of Game 7 in Boston where, yeah, you know what? You're right. He wasn't there. And because of injury, perhaps, there's been a lot of times in the playoffs that he wasn't there. My question is this. And he said Bryce Harper is there, unquestionably. And he said they're not on the same tier. I think on the face value of that, that's like, and I think I agree with this. No, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's discounting a lot from Joel.
It is. So if they stay on this path, Harper's team gets close but doesn't get it. Embiid's teams say they get to a second round or never get out of a second round. Is there that much of a disparity between the two of them that they're not on the same tier because one team's knocked on the door of a championship and the other ones never really did?
Is that would be the dividing line?
Well, that's what it is now. So I say if it carries through.
Yeah, and there's only one, then that's the only dividing line. So then how could they not be on that close? Right? It seemed like it was just like a four, like, oh my gosh, no, he's not even in the same conversation. Like, how is he not? They're basically doing similar. I get what he's saying as far as like championship knocking on the door, but it's one. He's knocked on the door once. He was in the World Series one time.
Yeah, I mean, last year we could say they knocked on the door like they were there, and it could have happened, should have happened, whatever. But I did. And again, I am not picking on what John said at all. It made me think more. Than my first reaction, yeah, I admit it. My first reaction was, get the hell out of here. How can you not put Joel Embiid on any kind of tier with any athlete, maybe that's ever played in this city? And then, as he went on, it made me think, okay, wow, is he not? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with Joel Embiid isn't on the same tier as a Bryce Harper. There's just no chance. Look, so are we to say that since he knocked on the door, also that Jalen Hurts is on a higher tier than a Joel Embiid?
That my brain shut off when you started that sentence. No, I mean
is it shut off?
Because that's only one metric. Like if you go to the other whatever measurements you want to use as far as leading your team, and I get it that the Sixers as a team haven't gotten there, and arguably he's had more talent at times surrounding him. They knocked on the door with the Raptors series. You can use if you want to use something. On its face, it just seems so preposterous because Joel Embiid is beyond gifted, and I think overall his sentiment is you hear that more often than not, and I know you probably hear it when you're out too. People don't seem to appreciate at times Joel Embiid's level. The fact that we joked about this the other day, the fact that he watched like YouTube clips and thought, I'm going to do that. That's incredible. Like, that's just mind-boggling. I can't watch somebody hit a golf ball and think, yep, now I'm going to instantly be better. Now I'm going to have a hole-in-one. Now I'm going to drive the ball 300 yards. He is just such a good athlete, such a good basketball player. Everyone, that appreciates the game should be able to appreciate that he is one of the top 5 basketball players in the NBA and quite possibly the world. Like, it's just, he's a top 10 player in the league. Like, he would have been on the NBA. He would have been an MVP. I think. I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling. I don't like to, and I don't do it. I don't come on and say I can't believe he said that or whatever. So beyond getting past I don't think you're right in saying that they're not on the same tier. I think they're on the same tier. But then I like to talk about it with others because maybe there's other thoughts that come out of it. So Ray, on that, the statement being said that no, Bryce Harper's on a higher tier than Joel Embiid because he's taken his team to knock on the door of championships where Joel Embiid hasn't. I mean, fair, unfair, just your thoughts on it.
Joel Embiid last night on the floor with LeBron James, Steph Curry, Devin Booker,
Drew Holiday, the glue of that starting five.
Yeah, that starting five. I watched him be doubled. LeBron James is on the basketball court.
Exactly.
The ability of Steph Curry to knock down a three is somewhere on that basketball court, and they're bringing help for Joel Embiid. I love Bryce Harper. I love what he is to the city. I love what he's done. Sure, Joel Embiid hasn't had his bedlam at the bank, swing of his life, that type of moment. Fine. You want to walk down that path with me. I can't say that he's not on the tier of Bryce Harper because I'm literally watching him with the best starting five that this country could imagine, and he's being doubled in an international competition. Like, to me, I'm sorry. That's like,
Don't be sorry.
I know
No,
the
it's all
level.
talking, yeah.
I know the level of athlete I'm watching, and they're both at that tier. And in terms of where he is in the pantheon of basketball right now, Harper is somewhere in there with baseball as well. But you can't discount what you've seen from Joel Embiid, especially because Bryce Harper, if your injuries happen at different times, like 2022, it doesn't happen the way it does, and they can't get him back as a DH, different story. If the injuries that he's had, Tommy John, he's a superhuman for recovering from it, but if the injuries happen at a different time, the way they've happened in Embiid's timing, Embiid said himself on NBA Countdown, like, sometimes you need a little bit of luck.
Right.
The luck hasn't been on the guy's side at all. There's things early in his career, sure, conditioning, the effort, all those things. I think a lot of those things that are held against him are narratives from half a decade ago.
Yeah.
That we kind of have to update.
Okay. I am not picking on anybody. I can disagree with what somebody says, but then I like to have conversation about it. Because maybe you'll find a lot of people that'll go one way over another way. But there's conversation to be had.
Yeah.
Some things are open
To
and
say
shut.
that they're
I'm
not
gonna
on the same line, I think, is where you draw. Like, it's just.
Yeah, but then the conversation is, okay, and then there's conversation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to shut down things. I don't do that. And John knows that. Like, he and I have had many conversations where we disagreed, but we have the conversation. If somebody tells me T.J. McConnell's a better basketball player than Michael Jordan, maybe I'll shut that down pretty quick, and just not have the argument. Like this one, I just like to hear what other people have to say. And also that's something that jumped in my head, and maybe we can talk about this a little more at 610-632-0975. I don't like to look in the future. I don't.
Yes.
But in Embiid, in Harper, you have two 30-plus-year-old players. Embiid's getting there.
Yeah.
When all is said and done, who's going to be the better player at their sport? It's pretty interesting. We'll talk about it when we get back. 610-632-0975. That's how you can reach us. A lot on the board today. Are you happy that the All-Star break's coming up? Maybe for you think it's a bad time because the Phillies are playing good baseball right now. I think it comes at a good time because I need this team just to get some rest, just put their feet up for a little bit, sleep in a couple of days. Everything will be okay. This is Middays. Amy Fadul here all day long. Bob Cooney, 97.5, The Fanatic. Getting close to the 1 o'clock hour here on this beautiful Thursday. Hope you're having a great one on the best day of the week. Amy, how much does music play into your life? Like, I'm not saying does it rule or anything, but I constantly have music going on in my downtime. Constantly. In the shower, around the house, doing yard work.
Yeah, I like music. I like to have it. Like if I'm like in the kitchen
constant.
cooking, I tell like the Alexa machine or whatever, like
Right.
play something. In the car, I think I've told you this story. I learned this a couple years ago from Jonesy. He was we do this, I was hosting Phillies or Flyers pre or post, and we do what's called a crossover, basically. We just kind of welcome in here's what's coming up in the broadcast. So JJ and Jonesy are there, and I knew this about him, but I wanted to get him to say it. He hates music.
Keith Jones does.
Yes, doesn't listen to it at all, ever. He used to hate when they would play music when he was warming up, playing. He doesn't listen to it. So Al Morgani tells a story of like they would go down to the shore, like if they had like whatever, and it was like an hour plus drive, in silence.
Oh God!
Doesn't listen to a single. So I'll get in the car.
I know
sometimes,
he listens to us, but
well, obviously because we've talked to him. But so I'll get in the car sometimes and I'll forget to like turn on my radio, or I'm doing something. I'm putting in usually probably my destination, so I can. It'll 5 minutes will go by and I realize, why is it so quiet? Oh, I didn't turn on my music. Like I can't imagine driving any place longer than 5 minutes and not having. He hates music.
Yeah,
imagine being in a car and not putting something on, whether it's sports talk radio or like just silence.
No. Oh God, no! I can't. That's another
I told
thing.
Jonesy, I was like, you might be an axe murderer. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
But I turn music on all the time.
What?
You like the silence? So you're going to drive to Pittsburgh and you're not going to have anything on the radio?
No.
But at times,
There's
silence
times
in your life.
There's
times.
a few times where I like leave a day and I'm just like,
Yeah.
just Ray, just me.
I guess people need that.
Is
to
that when
decompress.
you're on vacation or off vacation, or could be either or?
Depends how you treat me that day, Bob.
Oh. That's
Wow,
aggressive.
a lot of this me in particular. Jesus.
It was like coming home from this show.
Wow.
Took a
a
shot
drive
at me
home
on the
from
vacation. I'm gonna come right back at you, Bob.
Because I cannot have it's weird you brought that up. I can't have silence. I have to constantly have something going on. I will, if I don't mind cleaning the house, but the headphones go on and, there's a concert playing in my phone so I can hear it when I'm vacuuming and doing whatever else. When I go out every day, I go to the backyard. I'm the water boy. I'm the flower guy. I go out and water the flowers and clean the pool and stuff like that. There's music going on in my ears, or I take the speaker outside and I have something going on. As soon as I wake up every morning, Aim, I have a song in my mind. And sometimes it's a song I don't even like. Like it's a song that I hate.
Oh,
and I don't know why it's there. Yeah. Like there's this one song I remember from when I was a kid that once in a while it'll come in and I'm like, why? But I don't know why I ask. It's just like when we bump back to us and it has that drum solo, and we're going to have to, you and I have to talk about this, right? We're going to have to change things up a little bit because Amy's here all the time. But music rules my moods, I think. I think it's why I'm always in a good mood. And I know it drives my kids nuts.
Yeah.
And there's probably stuff about you and you'll realize, not you won't realize, but you'll see once your kids get older. I don't know how my kids look at me fully. Like I hope they like me. I hope they respect me, whatever. But, once in a while you'll see a face and I'll be like, what was that for? Like, do you really have to sing all day long?
Oh.
Like sing.
Oh, you're a singer.
Hum.
Yes, that's different.
I guess.
It really
I
does
remember,
rule your life.
I remember having a friend, in my early 20s, and his father saying, "Do you hum all the time?" And I didn't realize that I did. But I don't know. It's just something like
I didn't realize that you did either. Now it's gonna probably change the whole working environment.
Yeah.
Like you see me pounding my hands and stuff like that. Like, it's funny.
Yeah,
how,
I enjoy it, but I don't.
Yeah, like it's funny because sports is obviously our profession. And it's also our passion. Mm-hmm. It's, we love sports. It's not just because of our profession. We probably got into our profession because of our love of sports. But, yeah, there's different things in life that I think drive you. All right, what we're talking about now is a conversation that was had on the morning show that I found interesting. And it was, John said that Bryce Harper is on a different tier than Joel Embiid, a higher tier of Joel Embiid, simply because he's taken his team close to championships and Embiid has not. I disagreed. but I thought it was a talking point as he made some of his points. And Andrew in Phoenixville, I think, has a pretty good answer to this. Andrew, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, buddy?
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and Amy. How are you? Hope you guys are doing well.
Good, Andrew.
Much
Thank you.
better day outside.
Yes.
So yeah, I totally take Bryce Harper over Joel Embiid any day of the week. He has, when he comes up to the big pressure spots, he delivers. And, that's something that Joel Embiid has not been able to do, even with the good pieces around him. Now, not to say that he doesn't have good pieces around him right now. He should going into this year. So hopefully they'll get past the second round. But Bryce Harper has so many amazing pieces around him. And that's why they're able to do so much better than the 76ers. And that's why they should go to the World Series and hopefully win it.
So, is it not even close? Like, Harper's on a tier and then below him is Joel Embiid? Or are they both on the same tier? Their teams just haven't gotten, as far as they'd like.
I think with the big names that they are, with the amount of pressure they both have on themselves, Bryce Harper is on a bigger tier because he's able to deliver and was able to match that pressure on him to do well, to get us to where we need to be, which was the World Series last year. And they're on pace to get to the World Series this year. Joel Embiid has had multiple opportunities to get us past the second round, and he has not been able to deliver.
Andrew, appreciate the call. Always good insight when we do get to talk to you, and hopefully we get to see you soon again. So there's somebody that's more on the side of what John put out there today. So it's an interesting topic, one that we'll hit a little bit more when we get back. Some more Phillies talk. Are you okay with the All-Star? You can't help it. Like, the All-Star break's coming. Are you good with it coming at this time? I think it is the perfect time for this All-Star break to come for the Phillies in what they're going through right now. 610-632-0975. Also, if you'd like a chance, if one person gets this right on the acronym game that we were playing earlier, if one person gets it right, you're going to win a pair of tickets to FanFest. But I will only give it to you if you ask for it. And we'll make it very, very easy for you. 610-632-0975. Amy Fadul's here with us today. Ray Dunn producing. I'm Bob Cooney. This is Middays 97.5 The Fanatic. Little after 1 o'clock here on the Midday Show as we take you up to the best show ever with Tyrone, with Ricky, mostly?
Yeah, 5:30 pregame.
Okay. So do we know somebody coming in, whatever? Silvano will be here. Oh, a couple things I wanted to ask the two of you. One, Ray, I noticed during the last break, Tyrone was in here talking with us. I noticed Silvana was dipping her head into your studio, and I saw joyousness. I saw smiles, laughter. Yeah, even then she walked out, some shouting, and it seemed to be playful. Where are we in this friendship?
Apparently,
it's
I missed the text last night, so it was a how could you seriously be upset over that? That was the extent of that conversation. She was complaining about the broadcast last night, and I did not respond. So
you ignored her.
I did not respond. That's mine. That's on me. I was driving, saw it, was like, got to get back to that. Didn't get back to that. So today, I'll own that one. This is on me.
Okay, but she didn't appear mad.
No.
Okay.
No, she was just being, I would say, sarcastically upset.
So you guys are in a good spot as far as your friendship.
Yeah, we're not. There's no feud today.
Okay.
He said today.
Yeah, it's a day-to-day thing.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's all right. That's how I run my life, day to day, maybe even hour to hour. So, all right, good. Today's a good day. That's what we like to hear. Question I have for you, Aim. Do you ever have like little? And please, nobody be perverted about this. Do you have little yeah, because I can just see it. But all right, I'll describe it first so it comes off as innocence before I ask you. My wife and I have a game and I'm on social media a little bit more than her because she has a job where she's in front of a computer, like 7 to 5 or whatever. So I have the opportunity to see more. I'll see something. I'll say, guess who died? When a famous person dies. I'll say, did you see it? And she'll say no. And she knows how to play the game. It's only yes or no questions until she gets it. Mm-hmm. So, obviously male, female. Is it a male? No, And then actor, athlete, news person, so whatever. We break it down and she has to ask questions. Only I can answer yes or no until she gets it.
Yes.
Sometimes it might go on for a good full 5 minutes. Ooh. Do you have anything like a fun little game like that you and Sean might play or something like besides that maybe not concerns sports? Because I do worry. I want you guys to get into something more than your little sports, world.
I hate to disappoint you. I mean, we do play those games. And because I'll find out like an interesting fact, and I'll put it out to the two Seans or just the one, whomever it is, the older or the younger. And we give hints instead of yes or no. Like, I can't believe this happened. What happened? And then I was like, it's a concern somebody, and then I'll give a hint. Like they played college football in the SEC.
Okay, so it might be that somebody became the head coach of Kentucky basketball.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll be something like that. But there's always a guessing game, and they like it. So we do hints instead of yes and no.
Right. Okay. So there was a death of an actress today, Shelley Duvall, at 75 years old. She passed away today. I've called my wife a couple of times to try to play the game when we've been on break, but she's busy on other calls and stuff like that. That's one I don't know that she would get. That's a tough
You'd have
one.
Yeah.
She was an actress in one of the most scary movies you'll ever see, in The Shining. And the best show ever today. They already put it out on Twitter. What's the scariest movie you ever saw? And Tyrone's going to have a bit on that on their show. So make sure that you stay tuned for them. But just fun little show that we like to play. And I'll tell you, Andrew in Phoenixville, I thought summed it up pretty well. But he also took a side that I don't agree with. So he said, look, I trust Bryce Harper more than I trust Joel Embiid to bring this city a championship. Therefore, yes, I put him on a higher tier than Joel Embiid. I did not give you a chance to respond yet, Ray, and I would like to hear what your thoughts are on this whole tier Harper Embiid thing.
It's so interesting when we see the way we view athletes, because the conversation surrounding Bryce Harper pre-Philadelphia was very much of he's a great player. Is he going to win anything? Is he going to win anything? And by the way, the Nationals then won something after he left. And this is from someone that loves Bryce Harper and thinks that Bryce Harper coming here was...
Who loves him now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you.
The Phillies comes into play.
The Phillies were very bad when him and the Nationals were good. Like, his arrival to the scene was right there with the Phillies' fall from grace in terms of, like, the golden era being over.
Yeah.
So to hate him, I don't really think I ever got to that level because it was like, yeah, they're good. We're not. The difference isn't just one Bryce Harper from this Phillies team and that Nationals team. But him coming here, I thought was the big moment of everything baseball-wise here. But we love a guy who chose us. We got Joel Embiid. Everyone likes the idea of something different. Every time we get the blow it up conversation, it's always, well, blow it up because you'll eventually get some superstar. You'll be able to rebuild and make things happen. You don't know that. You could just be a bad team for 20 years. There's examples of that across the teams that are just bad, that organizations that are just bad. Joel Embiid being given to us and being drafted by us is more of a, oh, yeah, well, you were given this guy. That's just all you know. So you like the idea of something different. Harper chose you, so you're like, oh, this is the something different. This is the thing that pulls us out of, horribleness. And Bryce Harper did have that incredible moment, Bedlam in the bank, swing of his life, wonderful. Team was not the better team in the World Series. They lost. Fine. Okay. You come the next year, he's a part of the reason why they didn't get back to a World Series. Like, he realizes that. When we talk about the fact that they came in this season all motivated, they all realized that they played a part in a collapse against an inferior opponent. Now, he gets a little bit more pass because, hey, he had Bedlam at the bank, and this is only year 2 of the window. And Embiid's been doing this for a while. Embiid never really had that runway of, lack of expectations. The Phillies as an organization had lack of expectations because they continually let you down. And then, okay, now this is the year they're going to go do it is last year pretty much because 2022, even we got calls in September of that year well, what's the point if they make the playoffs? They're not going to go anywhere. The level of what people thought the Phillies could do was so incredibly low. And then they go on that great run. Harper has the exclamation point on that run. And now it's, oh, yeah, this guy's a winner. This guy's going to take us to the promised land. Just to me, I think Embiid's kind of victim of circumstance and a number of things, and I don't think you've ever put a team around Embiid that's as good as what Harper's had with the Phillies.
Here's another thing that just popped, and that's great thoughts there. But another thing that just popped in my head as you were talking, you had Bedlam at the bank. Bryce Harper will have a chance to be clutch. Now, clutch isn't nobody on, nothing game. And he, grounds out to second. He'll have a chance to be clutch, say in a 6-game series, 25, 30 at-bats, maybe, 3, 4, 5 times, right? Maybe he'll have a chance to be clutch. Runners on base,
but he might not come up. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The situation has to be laid out.
Does Joel Embiid have a chance to be clutch 48 minutes a game or 38 minutes a game? Does he have a chance to be clutch for 8 minutes or a chance to be not what I'm saying is it fair to compare when you're talking about moments of clutchness? Joel Embiid, if he goes for 50 points over 38 minutes in a playoff game, that's a lot more clutch, it seems like, although it's still only one game, than a guy that gets a hit every 10 at-bats. A clutch hit once out of...
And that's the thing.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think it's how those 50 points, they would be clutch.
Matriculates?
Yeah. Moving around. I think it's how they would come to be. So they're 50 points, but if the last 2 win you the game, those two,
right.
You know what I mean? Those 2 are the clutch points. The 50 are also great, but setting them up with 50 points in a playoff game is just absurd to think about.
It really is.
It's absurd to think about. And if for Joel Embiid, it's yep, I know that I can do that. He has that. And I think that the thing that makes both of them on the same level conversation or tier, whatever you want to put it, for me, is they both had that capability. I know Joel Embiid hasn't been able to showcase it because you're talking about different instances and then bad luck. Also, it's a team sport and whatever else. I mean, he scored 50 points in a game. Do you have to get him to score 50 points every single playoff game? Maybe.
In order to, and they lose the game? Are you going to say he wasn't clutch?
So I don't know, but I feel like they both have that in them. They have that fuel, that desire to be the best, to keep working, to keep being the best. And they bring people here. I think that's an underrated thing. People draw people in.
Right. Yeah, this is how interesting this subject is that the response by me when I heard it this morning in the car was, are you kidding me? You're not going to put Embiid and Harper on the same tier as far as clutch athletes or great athletes in the city. Now we've had a call that disagree with it. Now we're talking it out. Not that we're disagreeing. I disagree with that. I think they're both phenomenal athletes, and I'll take either one of them in the clutch should I need it to be there. Has there been moments of Joel Embiid oh, yeah, where was he at the end of Game 6 against Boston 2 years ago? Where was he in Game 7 in Boston 2 years ago? Those things. Yeah, I hear you. Those are games. I could probably, maybe if I dissected it, point to Bryce Harper down 2-1, second and third, 2 outs where he didn't get a hit. But that's not as big as not scoring in the last 5 minutes of a playoff game. It's weird. It's a weird balancing act. But where do you stand on it? Is there different tiers for a Joel Embiid, a Bryce Harper? 610-632-0975. Would love to hear from you. Also, if you want to play the acronym game, God, I'm not giving up on this. I want somebody to win this. I'll tell you how easy it is. The next basketball one that I had on my list. Amy, I'm going to give it to you, and I didn't tell you what it was.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Basketball. 3. The number is 3. NWBAI.
Number worn by, the AI. Number worn by Allen Iverson.
Look at that. Right. It is so easy. See? Conversation went quickly. We just went like that. Amy, you just won a pair of tickets.
I'm so excited to go to my very first Fan Fest.
There you go. You can even bring somebody if you so choose. Yes. So if you want to play the acronym game, fine. If you don't, we understand. But we got a couple of things on the table. This Bryce Harper, Joel Embiid talking point that John brought up this morning that, in all honesty, totally disagreed with them driving in. Still disagree with it, that I think they are on the same tier as far as phenomenal athletes in the city. He broke it down into more of, but Harper has taken his team. Now, taking his team is also something. Like, he didn't solely take the team. You got great pitching.
Yeah.
You had a Reese Hoskins. You had a Nick Castellanos, guys that were performing at really great levels at that time. And his argument being Joel Embiid didn't knock on the door the way those teams did.
Who has to lift more for their team to win?
Ooh.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm sorry. Like, when we talk, our conversations, let's just go the last 2 weeks of conversation. Last 2 weeks of conversation
exactly right.
around these teams have been, is Michael Mercado the 5th starter? By the way, we won't need that in the postseason. Is Stubbs or Marchand the backup catcher? Oh, by the way, if this team's going to win a World Series, you better believe Realmuto's going to be behind the plate. Like, for Joel Embiid, our conversation's been, they got this star. They have 3 starters. Okay, Oubre's back. Maybe he's a starter. Martin's a starter.
Yeah.
Do we know who the starting 5 for his team's going to be? Do we have the full list of contributors? Like, I'm very excited for this Sixers team. But we're talking about filling out a rotation, filling out a starting lineup, and that's been a constant conversation with this group. And by the way, Harper didn't win here until he got the group of guys around him that were the right group. Like, he was here in 2019. He was here in 2020. He was here in 2021. They didn't make the playoffs the year that he won the MVP. Like, I get it. Different sports, very different in terms of the way you build it out. But to me, the heavy lifting to win a championship that Joel Embiid has to do versus Bryce Harper, when we talk about the great equalizer for this Phillies team, it's the pitching staff. Like there's a lot more that goes into it. And that's why, again, different sports, and that starts to go into a whole different, can you compare them? But while we compare them, Embiid has to lift a whole lot more to get his team where they need to be versus what Harper has to do.
Here's another case for your argument, I think, right? Sorry, Aim.
No, you're good.
Can you win if you're the Phillies without Bryce Harper? More, way more, than can you win if you're the Sixers without Joel Embiid? Right? Is that a question that lends to what you're saying?
Yeah,
you're saying they're on an even tier.
You can't win. I don't think you can win a championship without either one.
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're both integral. It's a little apples and oranges given the fact that there's 5 players.
Right.
11 players. But and the whole idea of the game, I think Harper is, integral in getting this team to the World Series. I think that you can't get to a World Championship without Bryce Harper.
Right.
But as far as winning a game in the playoffs, if he missed a game, I think you should be able to somehow muster through. And I think you could probably win a game without Joel Embiid because Tyrese Maxey's there. But can you win a series without Joel Embiid? No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah. Like pitching could carry you through a series.
Might be
in
able
baseball.
to get through. Yeah.
Yeah, like you might be able to.
But you can't win a series without.
I don't think you can win a World Series with them. Like, could they?
No, you couldn't win a World Series.
Like a 5-game series where their pitching's just lights out?
Yeah. You couldn't win a World Series without Bryce Harper.
No. So I don't think you win a championship without either. And again, when we have these conversations and we start pitting people against each other, people are going to start thinking, wow, Ray really doesn't like this Bryce Harper guy. Him joining the Phillies, to me, is the signaling moment that everything changed here. Like, that to me is his signing here might be one of the most important things that's happened in terms of a sport in Philadelphia, what it did for baseball, what it did for the Phillies. I don't want to come across as like this is a take down Bryce Harper thing. It's a more like, hey, sometimes you got to just appreciate what you have in Joel Embiid. And I think we don't do that enough. And I think to put them on two different tiers is that exact not appreciating enough what you have in Joel Embiid, because other guys in his situation, one, wouldn't still be at this organization. And two, you probably don't have the same ceiling that you have right now with Joel Embiid.
Yeah, it's funny. There's been players. I heard somebody bring up Charles Barkley this morning and Allen Iverson. Didn't win you a championship. John made a great point of he carried a team to a championship. They had a great coach. They had a mix of like Larry Brown put together and said, you know what? Just give me this and I got it. And he did. And you had the sixth man of the year and Aaron McKee and coach of the year and MVP and all those things. So John makes a great point that way, that why hasn't Joel Embiid maybe been able to do something like that? I think when it's all said and done, I never really I'll look at the player and know what they are. It's more of numbers are numbers, and we know that. Charles Barkley was one of the greatest basketball players ever. Allen Iverson, one of the greatest basketball players ever. They don't have championships. That doesn't rule my day.
Yeah, it can't.
It just doesn't. Like, I'd like to see it.
It's a good deciding factor.
Yeah, and I'm sure a player, like, at the end of the day, Joel Embiid is going to walk away from the game of basketball being as great as he was, accolades galore. He would love to be introduced when entered into a room as not just MVP, whatever, but and NBA champion. Everybody wants that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, I thought it was interesting, and I carry on the conversation, as I said, because it was one, again, that made me think that I would like to hear what other people have to say about it. Because cut and dry, my response was, and my answer is, yes, I do have them on the same tier. I do have Joel Embiid and I do have Bryce Harper on the same tier as athletes in this city that I would like and trust to lead their team to win championships. That trust hasn't been gained yet, however, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
And has Bryce Harper gotten closer? Like John said, yes, that team has gotten closer. It's interesting when all is said and done. And are we going to be able to say, Joel Embiid was a better basketball player than Bryce Harper was baseball player, vice versa? Are they going to be somewhat the same? They're probably going to land in both of their halls of fame.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question on that.
No. So, interesting topic. It can come about in different ways, but I thought it was something pretty interesting to hold on to and to get back to just a little bit. All right, when we get back, we haven't hit the text message board all that much today. So we have some of them because we've had a lot of different topics on the table. I talked about game-defining, season-defining moments. I think Matt Strom kind of had one last night against Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani had two guys on base, 4-2 game, one out, and Strom strikes him out. I thought that was awesome. A little side note I'd also add to that, which I thought was cool. You can't forget that there was another guy up.
That's important.
And that was so big that he gets a line out to right field because so many times, not just in Philadelphia, in other sports, you see the big play made, and then it's followed by, all for nothing. You didn't see that last night with Matt Strom. I thought that was a defining moment. Talked a lot about the Phillies All-Star break, going to the All-Star game, letters to the managers, all of those things. It's been a great day with Amy Fadul so far. We still have more to come as we take you up to the best show ever. This is Bob Cooney, Middays, 97.5 The Fanatic. Welcome back. Last half hour here of the Midday Show as we take you into the best show ever with Tyrone, Ricky, Silvana. They'll be hanging out with you this afternoon. We know you're going to give them a listen. Tyrone has a good question for you out there.
Yeah.
Shelley Duvall, they already put it out on Twitter, so I'm not ruining any part of their show. But Shelley Duvall died today, 75 years old, so probably to some of our listeners not very familiar. She was in one of the all-time scary movies ever called The Shining with Jack Nicholson. Crazy. I remember the first time I saw it. Nuts. Scary nuts. So Tyrone has a question out there. What's the scariest movie you ever saw? And Tyrone came in and he asked ours right away, and we gave it to him. And he had a really good basis behind what should or should not maybe be a scary movie.
Yeah, and why some are scarier than others. Yeah.
Right, yeah, believability factor and stuff like that. So Tyrone's going to talk to you just a little bit about that during their show today, which is a lot of fun. Something was put out last night. I guess it was last night. I don't think it was this morning, that I saw. That was a goodbye letter. A goodbye letter from Tobias Harris. We had talked about it. We wondered if he was going to do it. It's rather long, so I don't want to read it all to you. They did read it all on the morning show today. It is sprinkled in with, obviously, thanks, mixed emotions about leaving and stuff like that. Poured his heart and soul into this team, into this community, which he did. He really did to the community, did a lot of good. Like Amy said, we've gotten a chance to talk to him more than a few times. A good guy.
He's a good person.
A good dude, yeah. And, through it all, there's different things that you were happy with, that you weren't happy with. The contract, that wasn't his fault. They gave him a contract. He signed it. He would have been an idiot if he didn't. But he talks about your unwavering support, passionate cheers, and belief in us. It was a constant source of strength and stuff like that. He also talks about the supporters who may not have been as loud as the critics, but whose love and dedication have been the foundation upon which the team stands. I want to say thank you. And he goes on and finishes it up to the city, the fans, and the team that will always hold a special place in my heart, capital letters, thank you. And may the future bring you everything you deserve and desire with love. Good on him.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, good on him. I mean, that's it's easy for a guy like Tobias Harris. Look, he heard it all.
He didn't need to say anything.
He didn't. I don't expect letters from athletes when they go elsewhere. He did a lot for the community. Could the basketball have been better? Yeah. And I think some of the unfairness towards Tobias Harris was people and the contract. Look, he was brought in here to play basketball, and they paid him a salary. I don't know how you're going to knock him on that salary. Should he have played better basketball?
Yes.
Well, then, yeah. And maybe if he sits back one day with feet up like, I should have done this or I should have done that without but I did do this and I did do that. The unfairness to me is that people talk contract with him. That's the Sixers' fault. That's not Tobias Harris' fault. The fairness is that when he would talk about his contribution, his game, he would quickly follow it up with, I've done this. And it was the maybe slight inability to take on the, you know what, maybe I should have done this a little bit better. Right?
Just a little bit more. I mean, in the postseason, it's glaring. But there's times during the year. He started off so well, and then the wheels really. And the thing I will say about him, one, he is a very good person. He always would come out and address any kind of critics or whatever after games. He played a lot of different roles. He was asked to do a lot of different things. That's not the easiest thing, to transfer how you've been playing. Oh, now you're going to be, catch and shoot. Now you're going to do it in transition. Whatever. It is what it is. I just thought, it got really bad towards the end. It was time for it to be done.
Well, the fact that he and Ray scored the same amount of points in his last game as a 76er
really
in a
remarkable.
playoff game, that is bad. If Tobias Harris was on your softball team, do you think he'd be hitting seventh or
no
in a championship game?
That kind of length, that guy is definitely.
He probably could
top
hit the
four.
ball pretty far, yeah. But 7-hole hitter is important, Ray.
You need leadership at the bottom of the lineup. Look at this 7, 8, 9, or I go 6, 7, 8. We'll go for the Phillies.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9 the other night. They went 7 for 9, remember?
There you go. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, you can be that catalyst, right?
Prove him wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in there with head down. I would pick your head up.
My head was up until this conversation happened throughout the entire show. You guys have actually made me feel worse about myself than I did about the whole thing.
I don't think we made you feel worse.
Maybe not you, Amy.
I don't want you to make. I wrote a nice letter.
I just wanted to get him upset.
Are we ganging up again?
Yeah, I'm just used to it now. I don't know what else to say, but I'm getting used to it. So
you like it?
You totally got me off track. All right, so this is the last time I'm bringing this up. I swear to God. First 2 callers.
Oh.
You have to answer this question, so don't go dialing now because I haven't even given you the number yet. We're going to go hockey. Ready? 88. NWBEL.
We will say the B is always standing
88.
for by.
NWBEL. First 2 with the correct answer at 215-263-0975. You get 2 tickets to FanFest. You have to answer 88 NWBE. We could even see Biggie. BEL. NWBEL. The number is 88. First 2 callers to 215-263-0975. Would love to see on our board who won the 2 tickets because, my God, I tried to put out a game that didn't go over well today. And I do have to give applause to our producer, Ray. I didn't hear him say this, but apparently when I brought this up and Amy and I were putting together, he was standing there shaking his head like, not too complicated. This is a game that, and it was probably like 10 years ago, we used to do this with a lot of different things. I like it. No, yeah, like, as I said, one of the first ones that we were ever given was like 88, and it was keys on a piano, KOAP. 88 keys on a piano, and you used to just do like, how many planets are in the solar system? So, like, you would do that number.
Well, it's just
I had the sun as a planet. So. And Kincade comes in today and acts like he didn't know what I was talking about. What?
The number of planets has changed now.
Yeah, I know. It's all over the place. Yeah, it's all
that was
over
the thing
place.
from yesterday that I forgot that you made a mistake with. Thank you for reminding me.
The sun.
You're welcome, yeah. But, yeah, so John Kincade walks in today and he goes, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying. And he was trying to be like honest.
Yeah.
What did you mean by the planet? I said, yeah, John, we were joking around. It's not the planet. It's the sun, Phoenix Suns. Oh, okay. That's why I didn't. He was trying to bust my stones without busting my stones, but the move was made. So I need to know who's back there on the phones with us today. I forget.
Sean.
Sean's back there on the phones with us today. So Sean, when you get a chance, if we get 2 winners on this one, please put their names up on the board because I would like to announce who they are as winners to 2 FanFest tickets. All right, we haven't done this yet today, and this is all on Ray. So, Ray, you're going to carry us through. We haven't gone to the text message board all that much. We had a lot of stuff on the table. Ray, read us some text messages, please, to get me out of this.
Season-defining moments. That's what we're going with from the text line. We got Kevin from National Park checking in saying you can use either the Harper or Stott home run versus the Angels in 2022. Yeah. That series was the turning point for the team.
That was a good one.
That was phenomenal. Yeah, that was so remind me again because I was at a game last year.
First.
Huh?
Harper's was first and then Stott's was
in extras or in the ninth?
Stott, I believe, was extras because I think Harper tied it.
That's
then
right.
Top of the inning, they blow it.
And 2 years ago, not last year.
2022.
Okay, because last year we were at a game, and I have to say we did leave early, against the Angels, where Harper hit like a game tire, and I believe they won it. I thought the Angels went up in extra innings, and then the Phillies won it in extra. I'll have to look that up, but I remember there was a big one there. What else you got, Ray? Nobody has said my game-defining or season-defining moment yet.
We've got one on the poor side of things. Joey from Downingtown saying, bad defining moment was the 49ers punked the Eagles during pregame warm-ups. It was all downhill from there.
That's when they ran through the defensive backs when they were warming up, I guess he's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that wasn't a good look.
Not great. Not a good sign.
No, and I remember, I think John came on the air the next day and said, like, that was ridiculous, and I kind of poo-pooed it. But it might have been the start of something bigger. He probably was right on that. What else you got?
All right, again, unnamed texter from PA checking in with a couple of season-defining moments. The Super Bowl season for the Eagles.
This is it.
It was the Julio Jones pass.
That wasn't the one I had.
Stand.
There was a different one in that game.
Yeah.
There was one.
There was a bigger one in that game. The missed interception.
Exactly.
That turned into a completion that turned into a field goal. Yeah, okay.
Phillies 2022 firing Joe Girardi.
Ooh,
yeah, that's a
not
good
bad.
one.
Early June. Yeah, that is a really good one.
And then for the Sixers, Embiid breaking orbital bone. And he
Yeah,
said
in a
that's
bad way.
Yeah, here we
Okay.
go again.
Yeah.
All right, if I give you guys a season, I want to see if you get the defining moment I'm talking about. 2017 Philadelphia Eagles. Forget the playoffs. I'm talking regular season.
I've got it.
You think so?
Yeah.
2017 Eagles.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's see if it's the
Jake
same
Elliott,
one. Yeah.
field goal.
Game 3.
Oh.
Beat the Giants.
Yeah. Could have turned. They would have been 1-2.
Yeah, that season really did kind of flip on its head.
Yeah.
We had one that was on Twitter. It was August 2007, I think.
Yes.
Chase Utley was 11. The comeback win 11-10. Chase Utley home run.
Yeah.
That was a good one. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was 2007. If you think about where the Phillies were.
Didn't Jimmy Rollins have like a huge triple against the Mets? Was it 7 or 8? Towards the end of 8 to clinch the series? I forget. I know I don't know. No, I must not have been that defining if I can't remember it. But you have any other ones, Ray?
I think 08 in the season they had another comeback against the Mets. I think Chris Coast walked it off. That could be a season defining for Lee. Now, I mean, the entire postseason run that year for the Phillies has a ton of season defining. If you want to go through all those moments, what happens when you win a championship. The 2022 Eagles, I think it was the Hurts. I think it was Watkins, I want to say, down the middle of the field against the Vikings in the second game of the season, prime time. You see him fold his arms. And to me, that was like the arrival moment of Jalen Hurts. And that was like the defining moment of like, oh, yeah, he's pretty good. This team's probably going to be pretty good through the rest of this season.
Yeah. The A.J. Brown, and this isn't season, but the A.J. Brown defining moment was that kind of when he made that touchdown catch against, we talked about this yesterday, I think, against the Steelers in a triple team, and he pointed at each one of them and then handed the ball.
You can't guard.
Yeah. So that was pretty good for him, but I don't know as for the season. I'll tell you another. I'll give you one for on the other side of it. How about Jordan Davis going down after chasing Josh Allen?
I think you could put that whole Bills game. Like they really just let it all out there. That whole Bills game was such a defining moment.
That would have been, to me, defining if they would have wound up being good. So I'll go the week after that when they got crunched by the 49ers. Maybe that was more season defining because that was the start of the downfall. But, yeah, with the Jordan Davis thing, as I said, like his NFL life left him right there for the rest of the season.
Bad one for you.
Okay.
Kapler pulling Nola on opening day. That defined his entire tenure here. Never recovered from that one.
Awesome.
Is that also the same game where he didn't warm up?
That was the same series.
Same series.
Same series. He called the bullpen and nobody was warming up.
No, and then he called for the bullpen and he had never gotten anybody up.
Yeah.
Like how do you? That's basic.
Yeah, no, he never recovered from that one. Somewhere out there, I think Ricky's probably listening right now. Make sure he's connected. I'm sure he's like shaking his fist thinking about Gabe Kapler.
Gabe Kapler's given us a lot of fodder, though.
Yes.
I think he got chased off TikTok because he was so.
Oh, really?
I think so. I
really want a window into the inside of that guy's mind.
No, you don't. Have you seen the TikToks?
He's right about the walking thing. All right? If you can walk somewhere, walk. He's right about that.
No,
I don't disagree with that at all.
It wasn't just if you could walk somewhere, walk. He says make it faster. Like, and if you want to get there faster, just walk faster. I don't need Gabe Kapler to tell me that. And then he's just sitting there getting dressed.
Yeah, that I could do without. That walk faster if you want to get somewhere faster.
He's trying to post thirst traps.
He's different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Gabe Kapler into Gabe Kapler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my favorite line. You know who's a big fan of Gabe Kapler?
Gabe Kapler.
Yeah. So, but he looks good. You know, he's presenting well. So I guess that's what matters.
Oh.
All right, we get back. We're going to close. We're going to close this thing out. Hopefully, we have two winners on one of the most obvious contests we could have. But I don't know. I got to go back to Sean and check it out to see if we actually have some winners on this. We'll close it out. We'll take you up to the best show ever with Tyrone, Ricky, Silvana, and then we'll get you on out of here. And then it's almost the start of the weekend. We love our Thursdays here. Amy Fadul, Bob Cooney, Ray Dunn producing. This is Middays 97.5 The Fanatic. Welcome back as we close things out here on the Midday Show. Thanks for joining us. We will be at it again tomorrow. Bill Colarulo is going to join us then. We want to say congratulations to Kevin McElroy, Andrew Hughes. They are our winners. 2 tickets.
They figured it out.
To FanFest. Their problem was this, 88 NWBEL. It was hockey. 88, number worn by Eric Lindros. That was the game we tried to play today. It just didn't have success. You know, I had somebody talking to me about doing the show. I forget who it was. I apologize. But somebody said to me, they're like, what do you do? Do you prepare all day long? Do you do that? So just give ins and outs of that or whatever. And I said, and sometimes you throw some things out there that really, sparks people's interest. Other times you throw things out there and it just doesn't.
You never know.
It's sports talk. Like sometimes people are interested in what you're talking about. Well, this was a complete failure, this game that we tried to play today.
It was fun while it lasted.
Well, I thought it was pretty good. Like, we had some easy ones. You could have won FanFest tickets like Amy Baseball. 2, PWSC.
Phillies World Series.
Yeah, Phillies World Series
Championships.
championships.
Sorry,
Right, exactly. Like, it wasn't that hard. 548 for a lot of baseball people, Philadelphia Phillies fans. For 548, that means something if I say HRBMS.
Home runs by Mike Schmidt.
Exactly. See, that's all we were kind of looking for. It wasn't going to be all that hard, but, like in basketball, too. NBA CBS. I don't know how we had a caller, and it was NBA, real easy, championships by Sixers.
Yes.
We tried to talk them through. It just didn't happen. We had some great ones on here, but
that's all right.
Sometimes Aim, I'll give you the last one of the day because I think even Ray would get this one. 41-33 SBWS.
41. Super Bowl winning score. I was writing down. I was like, what am I writing down?
So it was all that simple, but it just didn't take off. All right, Ray, Philly 6 o'clock start tonight. I know that brings you angst and all, but you can block that out tonight.
He won't be there because he's...
Exactly. He can block that out tonight because how many championships have you played for in your lifetime, Ray?
I mean, rec sports, probably like a handful, I'd imagine.
Congratulations on your success.
Well,
is this the biggest of all the championships you've gone for?
No, I've said this, and this is very true about our group, and whether they believe it or not, this is the truth. Our championship window's closing. Okay, we joined this league as a bunch of fresh out of college. Well, they were fresh out of college. I was still in college. Kids who just didn't have to stretch before games, go out there and just play. Now someone pulls their hamstring every time they run to first. We got to stretch out a little bit, a little dehydration. The core is aging quickly. Okay, if you look at the Phillies and say, wow, they got a lot of 30-somethings, they should get a ring pretty soon. We got a lot of mid-20-somethings who don't, have the same workout regimen of professional athletes that probably will preclude them from long, successful recreational sport careers. Our window's closing. This is a pretty big moment for us. If we don't win this one, I grow concerned about how much longer our window is.
My God, do I want to run through a wall right now?
Right.
Was that the speech you want to hear before a softball championship or what?
Yeah, we're aging out. We need to go.
There's going to be a group of college kids that join the team, that join the league next year that will definitely begin to just wreak havoc amongst us. It's just the natural cycle. There are teams that have been in this league or been together for years and years that we play every week that they make the joke, oh yeah, I remember when I used to slide into second base. It's just the natural progression of life.
So in your softball bag tonight that you'll have around your shoulder going down on the subway to the fields, will there be a bottle of champagne in there?
No.
No champagne spraying on the field should you win the game or?
No, because they usually when a team wins in professional sports, champagne's usually on ice.
Yes.
The trip for me is going to entail 100-degree heat with the.
It's not cold. It's not hot today. It's fine. It's a beautiful day.
It's okay. We're going somewhere post game, regardless of results. So I imagine that there will be something on ice there to celebrate with, and the people might be leaving that residence very soon. So we probably can afford to have some fun there.
Okay.
Here's what Amy and I ask of you. Could you please, in our group text, let us know how you do, and Amy and I will act accordingly. Should you get a win, I think maybe there will be a little video salute to you from maybe both of us in our separate spaces. Cheers, way to go, clown ballers. If there is a loss, I assume that you're going to want to get your manager on the phone and put him right to Amy so she can have some choice words for him. Amy, want to thank you for being with us for almost all week because you are simply the greatest. It was awesome. Ray, good luck tonight. Hope everybody has a great night. We'll be back here tomorrow. Stay tuned. Best show ever coming up.